that's good. I'm gonna rag him anyway.
Alive. Come on, big boy. He's got some on top. Okay.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch. I got a shitload on top, man. It's like, like that. What the hell is that noise? What is that noise? Hello, Widow Chiquita.
Hi. Ooh, what's that? Is that from me?
I don't know, some kind of noise.
That's Daniel being spooky.
Violets are blue.
Ladies and germs.
All right, everybody, welcome to the ECBRO Discovery News broadcast.
Huh?
All right, how you like that sound?
What'd you say? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. It's that noise will squeal in my ears.
Yeah. I know. I got it on super loud when I put my headphones on.
I didn't think I had my microphone that close to it. I don't know. I tried to keep it
was really loud.
It was really loud.
It scared me.
It scared me.
It took me back to the dream of 1988.
What happened in 1988?
It took me back to Halloween of 1988.
Ah, well.
What were you, 2, Ryan?
7.
That's when I graduated from high school.
I graduated in 84.
Yeah?
Yeah. You guys are old.
I still remember doing the 80, 80, 80, 80, 88.
Man.
Mine was 99. I graduated in 99.
I graduated in 98. Man, we're the young...
I got out in 76.
Man.
I'm bicentennial.
AJ
Fred's a bicentennial graduate.
Well,
so Ryan,
I'm sorry. I was just going to tell Ryan we got to have respect for our elders.
You're damn straight you do.
Yes, right, you do.
I think Freddie still won though, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm the oldest one on here, and I remember that.
And I'm next. I was just going to say, Ryan, I'm glad your friend's there. That podcast you just did was it came and went and whatnot, but it was good all in all. It was very interesting.
Thank you. We're like I stated before, I'm gonna try to go live quite a bit. At least going out into our research areas so people can experience what we experience. I think it's really good. And you know, it's a new area. It's only like 5 minutes out of town, and I just like I said, my cousin had told me she heard the screams. She lives in a trailer park way on the other side of the railroad tracks.
A good 3/4 of a mile.
Right. So what I did is I said, okay, I took it with a grain of salt, and I said, I'm going to go on the other side. There's some warehouses back there, but then it goes down a set of railroad tracks, which woods goes for miles along the railroad tracks there. And I just started looking, and I found that structure. And when I found it, it was amazing. You know, I was just...
I had seen the pictures earlier in the day. Once you went back, I remembered that.
Just in case, I did want to let everybody know this is my buddy, my researcher, John. That's Dan.
Hi, John.
That's Nikki. That's Lael, and you know Freddie.
Oh, Four-Eyed Freddy, there he is.
And you met Daniel.
Psycho Man.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's let Daniel say what he needs to say, and but I would like to later, if we can, go back to Ryan's stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Later.
Basically, you know, tonight we're just going to keep it simple. We are going to let the viewers have a chance to ask us questions, anything they might want to get our opinion on, or anything that we might know. So, viewers that are watching, if you've got questions, that's what we're doing tonight. And meanwhile, I'm going to actually jump back to Ryan. I do want to hear Ryan. Now, I didn't get to watch your podcast. Now, you did that strictly through your Facebook page. Is that correct, Ryan?
Right. There's a feature where when you hit, I do it through Bridging the Gap Between Sasquatch and Woo, which is my page. So I'll click on my page, and then I click Post. And when you go to Post, a bunch of options will come up. Go live, you know, say where you're at, whatever, and you click Go Live. And then it'll ask you for a title. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're going to speak about, whatever it happens to be. So I always put what I'm going to be doing, come up with a creative name, and then I hit Go Live. And when you hit Go Live, it'll give you a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and then you're live. And anybody that is associated either with you or that page can view. It's kind of like right now, where they can view on YouTube and ask questions, they can do that live through Facebook.
Okay. Now, those videos automatically get uploaded, saved to your automatically to your Facebook page, right?
Right. If you go to Bridging the Gap Between Sasquatch and Woo, which is my page, you can go there right now and it'll be uploaded. At the end of the video, when you hit finish on the bottom, it'll take you to another screen, and then on the top it'll say done. Click done, and it automatically uploads to your page, which it's awesome.
Okay. I'll have to check that out. I know other people do that. I know Tracy Arnold's been doing that. And just to answer Sam Deloach, got a quick question. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna. Sam's asking where my video is with me and Greg Corbin in the trackway. It's listed under my video archives on my YouTube channel.
Hi, Sam.
Yeah, he's watching. Sam. Yeah, we got Sam, Deloach,
Yeah.
Donna Hamrick is watching, and who else is popped on there? Brian Sullivan's actually watching.
Oh,
So, cool.
I would have shared this.
Hey, Brian.
Hi. Oh.
So, what were you saying there, Ryan?
I would have shared this, you know, this hangout that we're doing, but I didn't have time. Like, I was in the woods, so sorry I didn't get a chance. Usually I try to share your stuff so everybody can see it.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. Usually anyone who's subscribed to it and will get the notification once we hit live, and then plus the way I have it set up, it automatically goes onto the Google account. It gets onto my Google. So and then I did a few shares on Facebook and just a few groups. So I didn't get too carried away with it. So I mean, I figured anyone that's on, they'll see it, and plus right. Usually the last couple of minutes before we hit, go live, I'll say we're going live, join, something like that. But, trying to think. Fred, now, Fred, you shared an interesting picture earlier today. You were out today. I was wondering if you wanted to share some of that with us today.
You know, I went across from the camp and I videoed all back up in there, you know, found some foot tracks and everything. But when I went behind the camp, back there, uh, in the main Kennedy Fields area, I found a track that it was a dog foot, a dog print, but it was bigger than a dog. It was bigger than a Saint Bernard or a Great Dane, and I think it was like 4 inches wide and 5 inches long,
Mm.
and it was right up against the tree, like it was standing there watching something. Because
Oh,
where it was facing is where when I got right to that spot today, I heard squatches run left and run right
Hmm.
and everything, you know. So, and I had another rock thrown at me while I was in there. So, but
Did
that,
Did
but
you
that,
throw it back?
do what?
Did you throw it back?
Yeah, I always do. I'll say, "Oops, you dropped this." See, when I went in, I said, "OCO EI Niha," which means I'm your friend. I mean no harm. Yeah, take your sunglasses off when you look at me, Ryan.
That's good to know. Brad, I can see right through you.
um,
Yeah,
hey
say
Fred,
what?
Sam's asking the question. Sam's asking, was there claw impressions there?
I didn't. I wasn't paying attention to that. I was only paying attention to that track, you know. But whatever it was big, and it was right against that tree, facing that tree. It's probably about. If you go to the video and look, you'll see it's. You know how like oaks usually get that moss around it.
yeah.
This
Right.
was this was right in that moss, about an inch away from the tree.
There's a still picture of it, isn't there, Fred?
Yeah, yeah. You got that still picture?
Yeah.
Send it to Daniel and let Daniel post it.
Yeah, I could do a screen share. So.
All
Yeah.
right. Let me see what I can do.
Hey, Fred. Sam says, Fred, you could get a killer job speaking bilingual. Whoop whoop.
All right. I'll repeat what I just said. OCO ya Niha. That's Cherokee Cheyenne.
And actually, while you're at it, how about you share the other phrases that you use out there too in Cherokee?
Ushka Yate. Dori
And
Tishigawa. Ushiguatsu and Ihina. Ihina means thank you and bye. But
what do the other ones mean?
Ushka Yate means come and check me out. Paul Halsley taught me that
Ah,
one. He said, come and check me out. Now, if you want to drive a Squatch crazy while he's in your area, sit down at a tree where you know your back is to him. Pretend like you're playing a game on your phone, and when you hear him move, just start sliding around the tree. And he will follow you around that whole tree trying to see what you're doing. And he'll get pissed off in about 15. Yeah, there you go. Look at that track. See that?
Yeah, because
I
I
think
wondered
it's 4 inches wide and 5 inches long.
at the time because there wasn't a description with it, and I wondered at the time, was it a knuckle, a handprint,
No, no.
or what was it? You
I
think it
tried.
was a
Well,
dog
I tried to
type?
debunk it. You know, I was thinking about knuckle prints. No, it's too small to be a knuckle print. You know,
That's that looks like a right. That looks like a right knuckle. A right hand. If you make a fist like this, where am I at? And see my
Right
thumb.
there.
Take that and put it right over that picture.
well, here's where it was. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 joints or 4 impressions like a dog. 1, 2, 3, and 4. But right down here at the bottom where it concaves at, it's got that V shape. And right over
yeah.
here, and over to the left side of the picture, you see a nail mark, a nail hole right there. You got one right above it.
Yeah.
You got one at the top. You got one right there on the right side of it.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, could be.
Yeah. Is there? I mean, could we rule out bear chunk claw, or because sometimes they double, claw away,
This
more than once
print,
in one area.
this print was 1 inch away from the tree, facing the tree. I should have looked up, but I was too. But I looked all the way around that tree, and right down below it on the video, you see. I put my fingers like, look here, and you see a part of a toe, part of 2 or 3 toes, which I think would be its right foot. I reckon, I don't know, but it was right around the base of a tree, of an oak tree.
Yeah, when you first shared this picture to me, yeah, like I said, the way I was looking at it when I shared it, because of course I was looking at it through my phone earlier,
Thought it
and the
was
way that I looked at it, I thought it was like a little den or a cave, like I told you earlier.
yeah.
And Sam mentioned, he said I see a hole in the ground, Fred. Pictures just do no justice.
Well, what I did, I took the
Well,
camera.
that's true.
I took the camera and just set it over top of it and took a picture of it straight down. But I got another picture I didn't post, but it was kind of like being right down, like eyeball view at it, not over it, but kind of like looking at it from from an eyeball view, like getting down on the ground and looking at it, kind of like right here, kind of like looking right here,
Yeah.
like that. And I plain to see 1, 2, 3, 4, plain to see a dog's foot. But right down here at the bottom is where it gets me. That concave right there where it comes down to a V. That is what gets me.
Hmm.
At first I thought turkey, but no, it's not a turkey.
Turkey wouldn't be 5. Well, would it
No,
be
turkey's got
5 inches?
yeah, turkey's got the middle toe's the longest one on a turkey.
Mm-hmm.
We got some big birds here in Virginia, but I mean, I thought it was interesting,
It is.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it is interesting. I mean, like there could be, various things really. I mean, I could see where there looks like what Ryan said, it could be a possible knuckle print.
Well,
It could
I
be
could agree with
something
that.
dug out.
I could agree with that, but the thing is, it would have to be a real teeny little squatch, you know. Yeah, I can see what
Right.
I can see what he's saying, but
We got it down or something.
yeah, I can see what he's saying, but if you look on the left side, you got 1, 2, go to the top, and you got 3, 4. Go down to the right side, you got another one. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nail holes where
Right.
a claw or something went.
Well, what I was stating is, if you look at your fist, you got your 4 knuckles, and then down on the left, it's the left side, but it'd be your top in this photo.
Yeah, I can see that, but what throws me off is there are toenail marks at the end of each. You got one on the right, 2. Let's see, one on the right, 2 on the top, and 1 or 2 right here on the left side.
I
See,
mean,
that's
in actuality, it could just be like a wolf print or a coyote, and it was running, and it dug in, and it looks bigger because it was running.
No, because if
Yeah, it's at the
if
base of a tree.
because if it
Yeah.
was at the base of a tree,
Well, see, this what makes me want to lean more towards a possible bear dig. Especially this is moss and it's
no,
at
a
a tree.
bear,
Then
a bear,
and,
no, like I said, it's 4 inches wide and 5 inches long. A bear dig would be about 6.5 to 7 inches wide when they dig down. When they're looking for grubs, they would dig down and pull up at a traco. You know how they dig and they come up at an angle? That's what a bear
Yeah.
does. This right here was flat. I mean, it was flat. It was like
Yeah.
something stood there and pressed down on the moss. It
Hmm.
come. I'll tell you what. This is how deep it was. It come about right there on my finger. That's how deep it was.
I wish you would have put something for scale in there.
I should have, man, but I didn't. You know.
Yes, I mean Sam's bringing up some good points. I mean the newer thing he just said was how many thousands of impressions do we see out in the woods, and we make ourselves believe what we were seeing when it is not actually what you think it is.
Well, that's true, but here's the kicker. I'm a tracker. I know my tracks. I know everything that's in my woods, and I know coyote tracks. I know wolf tracks. I know every track that's in my woods, and that is one track that I have not seen before.
Be a big wolf.
Yeah, no. Sam mentioned another
We don't
thing.
have, we don't have
He's actually staying on top of this.
the
Sam
wolves.
said it looks like a rock was removed from the ground.
The wolves are up on the parkway.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
They're on the parkway. They do not come off. We got timber wolves,
Do
gray
you?
wolves, and red wolves
Really?
on the parkway. And coyotes are breeding now with the grays and the red wolves. Well, first it's the red wolf. Now it's the gray wolves. So the coyotes now are getting some size to them.
Bigger. They are up here too.
But that track right there is none of them, none of the above. I've already eliminated everything.
It's hard to. No, the picture really doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah, looking at the picture,
yeah, I
maybe
mean,
it's different if we saw it in person though.
Well, if you look at the video, you'll see what I'm talking about, because I'm showing it in the video, before I get up and go toward the creek where the squatches were.
Can't really. Even
Did you say
Yeah.
you said it was 4 by 5, Fred?
Yeah.
I'm just measuring my hand, and I have a small hand. My hand's nowhere that big, opened up or closed.
Well, we can eliminate it wasn't whale.
That's right. It was not me.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was just trying to associate, not that I think it was human, but
Yeah.
and whether it was, but just
You know,
get a grip on what size it was, in my mind.
yeah, I mean, I've eliminated the coyote. I eliminated every canine in the area. Wolves don't come down low. They stay up on the parkway, mainly over in Nelson County.
Now, Fred, let me ask you a question. How old do you think that print is? It looks old to me. That's why I mean the integrity of the photo doesn't look good because it looks old.
It's soft as it was. It's probably done last night or sometime this morning before daylight. Because if it was old, it would be dry and crusty.
Right.
But this was wet
Okay.
and soft and still, so it had to be done between sometime last night and sometime this morning.
Or the last 48 hours at most.
I'll say 24 hours.
Right.
Well, but of course we did get rain too,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what kind of weather you've been having down there. It's been a little drier up here the last 4 or 5 days up my way.
Come down here. We've been getting rain almost every single day.
It's been beautiful. We got a little bit of rain on Saturday, but nothing to really even count accumulation. That was about it. Because I did a lot of wood burning. I burned a lot of my leaves and stuff Saturday night at my house, and I thought I was going to get rained on, but it just sprinkled a little bit.
Well, we before we got all this rain, we had a fire watch. You wasn't allowed to have no fire, in fireplaces on national forest stuff like that. But
I have law enforcement, so I'm a Marine.
yeah, but since we had all this rain, I mean,
We had
rain
as well.
You had a what?
Burn band.
Yeah.
To May in New York. Yeah, it can only be small contained fires. We couldn't have anything big, but like I said, I've got a lot of friends in a lot of places, so I can basically. I don't live in city limits. I live in town, so
Okay. So you can burn after 4 o'clock, right?
I can burn. We can burn wherever we want. When the burn ban, once the month of June comes, we can burn whatever we want.
Oh, okay. Because they got a law here in summertime. You're not allowed to have a fire until after 4 p.m. when it cools down.
Yeah, it probably gets really hot down your way. It gets hot up here too, but it's probably a lot more drier during the summer.
Yeah. Now,
a hot, dry summer this year up here.
Yeah. Now, Daniel, what you got here? You got a bear print. I can see all the
Right.
toes
I can
and
see,
the
I can see the claws.
yeah and
Right. You can see the claws in this. Yeah.
yeah. But see how wide it is?
Yeah, 5 to 7 inches, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Yeah.
somewhere around here. The
Five.
claws.
Yeah. We got bears around here that's got their foot's about 7 to 8, maybe 9 inches wide.
There's been 500-pound black bear killed up this way too.
Very rarely, though.
They're getting more and more. You're hearing more and more about it. Bear being over 4 or closer to 500 pounds.
Our bear up here are kind of scarce. It's kind of like about a month or two ago, there was one in Eden, New York, and it was like on the news because there was one in Eden. Like
By the thruway.
we don't have a ton of bear, but
Well, y'all were up above the Mason-Dixon line. That's why,
Right.
See, the bears are smart. They know where to come to. They know to come to the south.
They got the smell. They got that nose too, man. They don't want nothing to do with us, especially rednecks like you.
The last time I was in New York, me and my dad was driving a track trailer, and we had to go through Queens. We had to deliver a load of cheese cream pie. While the truck was moving, I had the side of my trailer broke into, and $1,000 worth of tools stolen while I was still going down the freaking road and through Queens.
Yeah, New York City that's about 8 hours from us.
New Yorkers are pretty smart, them damn Yankees.
Well, if I'd have seen him, he'd had a 44 between his eyeballs.
Yeah, but you got to be careful with an out-of-state gun in New York. Well, you'll go to prison real quick for that.
Yeah, they don't play around in New York with
New York does not accept any other pistol permits from any other states.
That was years ago, though. He could have got away with it then.
Right.
That was years ago.
They got a permit now that's legal in all 48 states. Well, actually, all 50 states. And New York, and they just passed this law about like 3 weeks ago.
Really?
You got to have a card that says concealed. You can get a card or you can get a badge. That's an official concealed carry permit.
I thought you had to be a law enforcement or military to get that.
No.
What? Concealed permit?
Yeah.
No. Oh, no, yeah. You can go apply for that at the circuit court.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they're making it a lot easier than that now to do it. You ain't got to go to court. You can actually get your concealed permit on the internet.
But yeah, you're right. I've seen that.
But when you do it, when you put your credit card in, they do a credit card check.
Not here. Yeah.
To see if you're a felon, if you got a felony record or not.
New York our rules are ridiculous. You got to have references. And
Pennsylvania, you can get one in 3 days and $50, and it'll be in the mail. New York, you got to jump through all kinds of hoops to get one.
My buddy moved to Carolina, and he just walked into a pawn shop and could buy a pistol, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
They treat it like it's holy hell.
Well, in Virginia, when you buy a rifle, you gotta go through a police check, and they say yay or nay. If you got a felony record, they won't even say nothing to you. They'll just call the cops, and the cops come in and arrest you while you're waiting to see if you're approved for it.
We go to a store. They run a 3-day. They give you 3 days, tell you to come back. And if they say no go, it's just no go. They tell you to get the hell out of here.
That sucks.
Yeah,
I agree. If you have a criminal history, you shouldn't be able to have a gun. But for all of the rest of us who are legal, law-abiding citizens with no criminal history,
I'm gonna interject right there. There's 2 things they added to our law. Say you and your wife got in a fight and the cops are called.
Domestics.
What they're calling is a domestic now, and yeah, I see that, Fred.
That's an explosive tip.
Yeah.
Is that 30-06?
No, that's a 243 that I rebuilt.
Uh-huh.
It's a 1,000-yard gun, and this tip here, when it hits, it blows up into 50 pieces.
Right.
And
we don't need that.
No, but if the first Saudi Arabian or first Yankee comes down and tries to take my shit away, they're gonna get it.
But yeah, our law up here is if you get in a domestic or argument with your wife and the cops come, that goes on your record, and you can't get a gun because there's an issue with that.
Any domestic disturbance.
Anything. It's crazy. And then also, here's another kicker. Say that, I'm just going to use Nikki. Let's say Nikki goes and she's been depressed. So Nikki goes to see a counselor to do the right thing and get her life back in order, gets put on some meds for a little while, and yada, 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 yada. Just because she went to that counselor has to report to New York State. And what happens is when they report that to New York State, you can't get a gun license. You can't get a permit because that doctor, that psychiatrist, psychologist is now obligated to report to New York, and you can't get a gun permit because you're mentally insane or mentally unstable.
Yeah.
And that is ridiculous.
Why would that be ridiculous?
Because there's people out there that really need it. Like, let's say I'm a single mom and I'm depressed, I'm having some issues, but I have a gun for protection for me and my 3 sons, and I go to my psychiatrist once a week. I get my depression meds. I'm good, but yet I still go to the range or I participate in all kinds of shooting events or I hunt or anything like that. So just because I go to the psychiatrist to vent properly and do everything the right way, they're going to say that you can't have a weapon. I don't believe that that's correct.
I do. I do. There's too many incidents where that whole theory does not work, you know?
Well, there's unstable people, right. But
well, you know, I do believe that maybe once you're off the meds, you're done with your whole sessions of whoever you're seeing, a psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever, and there should be a way to wipe that or clean your record from that. That way you can start over in life. But I think if you are going through something mentally that you are not stable, you shouldn't be considered stable. You shouldn't have a gun. You shouldn't be able to buy a new gun.
Well, my thought on
maybe
that,
have a gun that you already exist, but not purchase a new one.
Right. You should be able to keep the gun that you have, but you're not even allowed to do that, really. But the way I look at it is, if you have, say, a pistol permit to have your pistol in New York, what they should do for that time is temporarily postpone it. Revoke it, and when you're done and better and everything else, give it back. It should be an easy process.
Now listen to this. I've got 1 assault charge on my record from when I was 17 years old. 1. My family that's in law enforcement told me I've got about a 0% chance of getting a pistol permit in New York, and that was over 20 years ago.
That's because you beat somebody up at a bar, getting in an argument, and
see, that would be a case where it should be expunged.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
New York is relentless.
And even having family in law enforcement, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Okay, let's get back into squatching now.
Right.
Any questions, Daniel, from anybody?
Yeah.
Not currently at the moment. I had one that was directed more towards me about a trackway that Sam was asking about, and I responded on there.
What did they ask? Retractive?
No, about a trackway. Oh. Now, when me and Greg Corbin went back when we were camping, it was me, Greg, and his son. We actually experienced, or not experienced, but we found a trackway that was actually right at our camp, directly behind our camp. And I later learned, that spot, because see, this whole general area, I didn't know about this area until I learned about it from a fellow coworker, and he told me some experience that he had this past, a little over a year now, and then I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, a friends of his in the same general area had the same thing happen to them, but they had their campers, RVs, pushed or kicked like at late after hours, early morning hours, and come to find out, where we found the trackway was the same exact spot that the one individual was camping at. So that that kind of made it more interesting, knowing what we found, and that's where something actually happened and took place. Of course, the trackway that we found, there's no denying that those tracks were they weren't fresh, but yet they weren't entirely all too old. I mean, then again, when I say not too old, they could have been maybe a year old, but I don't know if tracks would last that long, um, especially where we found them. Maybe they were a little bit newer than that, but perhaps that's actually a passageway where the squatches actually go through for some reason. Because it kind of comes into a somewhat of a clear spot, then it goes right back into the woods again across the road from our camp. Um, but what we found, I mean, we all three witnessed them, and tell you what, Greg's son, Kai, he actually spotted most of them, which was awesome. So, but yeah, if you guys are curious about that video and the trackway, if you go into my videos on my YouTube channel, ECBRO 98, yeah, it's under, I think, trackway. I forget what I titled it, but yeah, it's me, Greg, and his son Kai. Um, and I'm being asked what was the total length of the trackway. It was about a 58, 59-inch stride. So, yep. So, but yeah, if you guys get a chance, if you haven't seen it, many people have gotten to see it, but if you haven't, it's, I'll tell you what, I can tell you the name of it right now. Let me go into my videos.
I've seen it, and it's a good piece of video.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I can't remember what I named the title of it. Oh, here it is. Okay, yeah, it's only a 12-minute and 30-second long video. It's called ECBRO Bigfoot Trackway. So, yeah. There we go. So,
I have a question I thought of today.
Okay.
While I was watching Fred's video today.
Which one?
Part 1,
Okay.
2, or 4.
One was across from the camp. 1 and 2 was across from the camp, and number 4 was behind the camp.
I don't. It was 2 or 4. Anyway, you were talking about, you were pointing out structures, and there were so many great structures. And talking about whether or if they're directionals for other squatches or whatever, like this one points to the water, or this one points to so and so.
All right, you have directional to the bedding areas, directional to the water, directional to a feeding plot, and day beds.
Right.
That's
Okay.
mostly what you're gonna find.
Well, my question is, do you apparently you do think, but my question is, you have X amount of squatches that obviously stay and live in your area, correct?
They migrate in the wintertime because of hunting season, but they come back in at the first of spring.
Right. Talking about directionals, my question is, do you think that new squatches are coming in from other places that need or would use these structures, directionals, whatever, to point them toward the water or to this area or to that area? Are there new squatches other than young ones?
When a squatch comes into an area, they usually follow the same trail. It's like over in Africa, you got just one herd or caribou that travels one certain trackway from point A to point B and back to point A again.
Caribou aren't in Africa.
Right. But the thing is, squatches do the same. Squatches.
I get what you're saying.
Squatches do the same thing. And when they come into another area, the first thing they're going to see is a territorial marker saying, this is my area. So they know it's another squatch's area, but they do It's like traffic signs, like for us for squatches. Each particular structure means a particular thing. Now,
Yeah.
I can't say that I know definitely what they mostly are. I'm giving my theory on what it is. I do know that the bent and broken ones are directionals, but you
Yeah.
got but you got part structures. I found today. You got a whole bunch of stuff. So basically, yeah, it is directional signs to a point, but then there are other structural signs that, like I found today, you had a tree that was fallen. You had a maple tree that was bowed over and tucked under, and a limb going over top of it. And right at the front of the tree was an X that was
Yeah.
set there. That meaning right there, I don't know what it means because you got the two right there together, and I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
You know, but most when squatches come in other squatches areas, when they're passing through, they see these structures and signs and know what they mean. It'd be like, don't go over here, don't go over there. You can go this way, but not that way. Because it's blah blah blah. Blah blah. It's just like the traffic signs for us. That's basically what
So
it means.
if a group of squatches happens to be passing through for migration or seasonal or whatever, they'll follow the signs left by the ones who live there all the time
Right.
and respect that.
Yep. Yep. It'd be like me coming. It'd be like me coming on your property, and you're telling me, hey, don't go in there, don't do this, don't do that, don't go this way, don't go that way. Except you put signs up saying, saying what you mean. That's
Gun
basically
hunting,
yeah, that's basically what it
beware
means.
dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what it
Well,
means.
okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, that was the question I thought of today watching your video.
And I'll just throw it out there just for viewers. We got a fairly decent amount of viewers watching. Tonight's show is just, ask questions. If you're curious or want to know our opinions or anything that we might know, we're going to be glad to share it with you. So I just want to throw that little brief message out there while we have a lot of viewers on there. If you're watching, you got questions. If you want them, directed by everybody, just or specify who you want them directed to or whatever. That's what we're here for, and that's what we're doing tonight. We do this on a random occasion, so this tonight's show is for you, the viewers. So just to let you know, I'm going to jump back. I was actually checking a couple things on Facebook, but I'm jumping back to the live chat. So, and even the panel, like what Layla just did, or anybody, if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free. And I'm getting ready to go back to the live chat. So if you have questions, and ask your questions on the live chat.
Okay. Hey Ryan.
What's up, brother?
Let me get your buddy to ask me a question. See how intelligent he is.
Get
Was
my
he-
buddy to ask you a question to see how intelligent he is.
well,
He might blow your mind, Fred. He might be way smarter than you. You're asking for trouble.
I've always wanted him to know. I've always wanted to know what kind of questions would he ask when he researches. Like if he sees like a trackway, or he sees a structure way, or a like a TP structure or something like that. What kind of questions would he ask?
Hold on a second.
Hello?
Well, I do have a question on the live chat. Want me to throw it out there, Fred?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, and this is coming from Donna Henrik. And this is actually a question that we've actually addressed before, and this is a good question. Do you think they have designated bathroom areas? She said, I think I found one last year. It was before my sighting. Piles and piles. It was really weird all in one area. Well, actually, if you recall, I don't know how long, Donna, you've been actually following the YouTube channel. I think that's something on my opinion, I believe they do. But then again, sometimes that's not always the case. But basically with what you said you found, I believe that is the case. Just like they're a little bit opposite from I think deer, because deer and bear go a little. Bears don't care. They got when they got to go, they go. Just like deer and coyotes, they go wherever they have to go.
Well,
But
now
I believe it is very possible with squatches. Then again, they might have to go if they got to go that bad. They're not going to wait till they get to the designated location.
yeah, now
But just like
it's like
us,
yeah, it's like a groundhog. A groundhog has got a maze of burrows underground, and they got like a bathroom. They got a where they store their food at. So they have like a bathroom and everything. Yeah, believe it or not, they do.
I just
So groundhogs, they do have a uh, certain place they go to do the bathroom thing. So squashes, I Daniel could ask that question better than I can because I don't know. I've never, I thought I might have found a pile of scat, but it turned out to be it wasn't what I thought it was. And whoever that guy was, I had a big long string of it on the back of a truck. I don't know if that's it either.
a pile of scat shouldn't be a pile of scat.
well, actually, like I always mention how I compare how similar bears' behavior track. A lot of bears have a lot of similarities to what I find with squatch signs and tracks and so forth, etc. One thing I can tell you about bears, for the bears who actually dwell in dens and everything, a bear, if they have to use the bathroom, they will actually leave the den to use the bathroom. They actually keep their den very clean. So, technically speaking, a bear is very clean. So perhaps,
Dogs do that too.
yeah. So if a squatch has a designated area, like especially where they stay, their their living their living area, I believe they're going to go away from the area to do their business. That's just my opinion and how I look at things.
But
So yeah, but
some
what's that, Layla?
animals just go as they walk.
Like
Right.
deer.
Like yeah, or cows and horses and but then other animals stop to do their business, like dogs and uh so who knows? And I think when we yes, we have discussed it before. And someone in the group brought up, I think it was Steve, said maybe they cover it like cats.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, very very possible.
You
I believe I can
and
believe
and
that.
who knows?
What if they eat?
But oh God,
What?
yeah,
What if they eat other animals eat their own scat?
yes, dogs do on occasion,
I'm not going to rule that
and
out, but
I was just throwing it out there.
then again, for those who want to lean towards them being more human, I don't. I mean, you would think otherwise, but
well,
Oh yeah, yeah,
Did-
Ryan. Here's the question I want to ask you, buddy.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on a like a day bed? Have you ever seen a day bed before?
I don't think so. I wouldn't know what it was if I seen it.
Okay, let me describe one
you
to you.
would,
Let me
you
describe one.
would.
Oh yeah, because I got them in one area. Um, they take laurel brush and they'll weave them together in the front and down behind it. They'll clean out that area and you can see where they sliding in and out. You ever seen anything like that? I mean, like a thicket or something?
We don't really have laurel brush like you do up here in New York. We have underbrush like that, but it's
But
kind of
have you ever seen any of it? Have you ever seen it kind of like weave together? Like a little hiding spot or something? You ever seen something like that?
in structures, but not like dens or anything or
No,
bed.
no. This ain't underground. It's just like building a wall to keeping you from seeing him. Like like 2 years ago, I went into an area. I was looking for morel mushrooms. Well, I seen a mushroom, and I leaned down in front of a tree to pick it up, and this something hit the ground in front of me. And I looked and picked it up. It was a morel stem that was freshly being chewed on. You know, I mean, it still has saliva on it and everything. You know,
Not
I
true. Good.
so I looked up, I looked left, I looked right, looked behind me, didn't see nothing. So I said, all right, I'll come back tomorrow and check it out. I come back the next day, put my back against that tree, took exactly 12 steps, and there was a day bed. They had taken a laurel brush and weaved it in front of them, and when I looked over in there, there was a place looked like you took a rake and cleaned it out, and you could see where they were sliding in and out of there. They were less than 12 feet behind me, and I never knew it. And I looked right in that direction. But that's what I was talking about Forest David. You know, it's the place where they can lay and take a nap without being seen by somebody. You know, it's
Well,
just a hiding place.
Let me ask you a question. What's the difference between a day bed and a night bed?
You know, that's a good question because I really don't know.
Gotcha.
I do, I do know that the birthing areas, you know, are in major thick areas, you know, and they got them dug out to a point. Like one of the beds is 6 foot wide and 13 foot long.
So is it possible that he sleeps there at night as well?
I don't know because I found back years ago I found afterbirth and blood in one of them. What they do is they take and they after they make the clean it out, they'll take sticks and line it all the way around it, and they'll defecate all the way around it.
To keep things away.
Yeah, well, not that. It's basically when the baby's born, the baby smells the feces and it scares it, and it's going to make it stay next to mom until mom's getting ready to get up and leave.
Or they could do it to deter other predators from messing with their young.
Yeah, that's true
I
too.
agree. I agree with that too.
Because they are at
And not
their, but you know,
go ahead, Drew.
because right after I went in there, I come back in there the next day, and I had a squatch on my left, I had a squatch on my right, and I had one in front of me that growled at me when I went into that area. I backed out. I backed out 300 yards. I didn't turn my back. I just walked straight back because the growl went. It was a guttural, three guttural growls, and it vibrated right through my body, and it didn't scare me. I mean, it didn't terrify me. You know, just kind of like ooh, you know, it sent a shiver up my spine, so I had to back out. And
Fred, do you think they can walk the moment they're born?
no, I don't think so.
I think Daniel has a question.
All right. Yeah, we got another question here on the live chat. I'll go ahead and ask it. This is coming from Donna Hemrick again, and I'll go ahead and start it off, and anyone else could share what they want to share. The question is, do you think they have a certain breeding time and birthing time? Now depends if you want to compare this to our known primates. Like any other animal, it's a natural occurrence that takes place at any time of an ape's life. There's no season or time that this happens. Just like humans, mating or sexual behaviors is all the time, or when the male becomes turned on or enticed from the female.
Yeah. Now I do know. Now I do know that in the springtime, the males are at the most aggressive and everything. Because I've been like today, I smelt some real weird smells today in the fields, and it
Well,
smelled.
with that being
Well, let me finish. It smelled
okay.
almost exactly like it did the day I videoed that family group. It was a pungent, like urine, feces, rotten dead fish, rotten animals, been they decayed for a month or something like that. It was all them smells combined together. And I've only found that smell in the spring of the year. You know,
Well, because
I have a thought.
because with well, I was going to make a statement along with what Fred was saying. Talking about how they get aggressive. Because what I was doing when I started off explaining, I was actually reading a section out of a book here, which is this book right here. Yeah, the female, the female does have her menstrual cycle. Although it's stated that the females may only ovulate once or twice a year, depending on the species. The males may have up to several partners at one time, and therefore producing many offspring. This creates large groups or clans. During the breeding stage, or when a male seeks out a mate, a lot can occur between the other males and females. Violent outbursts, kind of like what Fred was saying. They get aggressive, such as the male in some primates may become violent or very offensive to fend off other males to keep the group of females to himself, making him the dominant one to be able to mate with the other females he has chosen. Yeah. For those who want to know, it's this book right here. It's this is the book I'm reading right here. I use it for my notes because it's my book. So. But yeah, exactly what Fred was saying. It's
that kind
what's
of.
that?
I said I think I know that guy.
That kind of.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Everything that Daniel was saying and everything that Fred was saying is bringing me back to correlating everything to my theory with the month of May, where I believe that they do have a mating, kind of like a big buck does when they go on the rut, and I believe it starts in May, and that's why we start getting these smells and the aggression and a lot of other things, a lot more structures, a lot more going on.
Okay, but let me ask you this. I've heard this the first time I smelt it and the second time I smelt it. There's a particular sound a female will make with her diaphragm. Yeah, you've heard of a buck letting out a guttural grunt out of his stomach, not out of his throat, out of his gut.
Yeah.
They didn't Buckmasters didn't figure this out until like 5 years ago. They was recording buck sounds, and they got this buck coming across the field, and he wasn't bellowing, I mean, he was pitter patting everything, but what they heard was a guttural grunt that is made inside the stomach. That I reckon the human ear can't hear it, but I think that's what the females do to let the males know that, hey, I'm getting ready to come into heat or something like that. And I've heard that sound twice already, back in 13 and past couple days.
Well, that's
okay. Well,
and that's why I'm.
Go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
I'm referring back to my theory about month of May and everything that I've seen across the board. It's not just springtime. Like I said, from Florida to Kentucky, California, New York, Virginia, there's a lot more activity. There's a lot more movement. People are finding a lot more things, smelling, seeing. They're on the move. Something's going on. And when I found that structure the other day and I was able to see the letters M-A-Y carved into one of the sticks, I was going to actually talk about this. M-A-Y, May.
Yeah, I didn't see. I saw the posts of the structure with all of the sticks, but I didn't see the M-A-Y. I'm going to go after this and go back and look.
Yeah, if you go to my site, Bridging.
Yeah.
I did a blog post on it and I shared the photo down toward the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it was carved into one of the sticks with a nail, like a fingernail. It looked like it took its nail and went M-A-Y, and
doesn't only humans can do that?
Huh?
Yeah. If
He's being sarcastic.
If Sasquatch was a primate, he wouldn't know how to do that. You got to be human to know how to.
Well, primates.
Thanks, Dan. Oh no, that wasn't Dan. That was Frank.
No, it wasn't me.
A primate cannot carve with the fingernail 3 letters. without being taught. But if you're in the woods and you're human hybrid, you do have common knowledge on words, on how
So,
to.
okay, there's all right. There's some slight contradiction in all that, though. I mean, if I could clear that up. First of all, there's no proof for saying that this was a Squatch. Second of all, if it was a human hybrid, where did they get educated? That's where I'm going with that.
Okay, okay, all right, okay,
Because
okay. Now,
they would have to be
now,
trained.
now, I'm gonna take you to school now, Daniel. Okay,
Uh-oh.
Before you
Alright,
take
y'all.
me to the school, let me finish.
Okay.
all right. Go ahead and finish
Never
real
mind.
quick, so I can take
Okay.
Daniel to school real quick.
Well, all I really have to say is that's why I was correlating everything to the month of May before I even found that. But I found it. It was in the it was carved into the branch, and you know, like a human would use a knife, or they would use a screwdriver or something sharp. They would like gouge at it to dig it out.
A
You tell,
rock? How about a
yeah.
rock?
Well, it wasn't scratched like a rock. It looked like it was a pointy nail that kind of just etched it in there. So what I was my point was, every time you find a structure, I think we should. A lot of people just look at it, examine it. They don't actually look at the physical branches and look for words. Who does that? I'm going to start doing that now. I have a reason to do that now. Now that I found that, that was so intriguing to me, and it was on a new break. Like the rest of the breaks weren't like that. I don't know how to explain it, but that was a new break. The other ones were older.
And you got a headache.
Oh, did you see that? That was unreal.
Okay.
Yes,
You
I
gotta-
did.
Oh, so you got zapped. Oh,
Okay,
He did.
so
I
this.
thought you didn't.
I
I thought you didn't believe in zapping.
Well,
And
let me tell you what happened. My buddy, yeah, my buddy goes into the woods headed straight away from me.
Right.
And a couple minutes later, I'm talking, and he's come back. He's like, I got a bad feeling. I'm not going back there. I'm not headed back there. That's what it is. And he comes back out, and he's got that uneasy feeling. And I'm still talking away. And I said, something's telling me to curve off this way and go out around during my live broadcast.
Ryan, you said you never feel that way to your buddy.
Neither do I.
Yeah, he doesn't feel that
Yeah.
way.
Well, that's what I mean. You said he said I have a bad feeling, and you said, well, you never feel that like that, and he said, but I do now.
Right.
Something similar.
Okay. So anyway,
It's usually me that gets the feeling. So I proceeded to walk, and then I called him over. I said, well, come over here so I'm not alone, at least checking out this new area. And I head in, and all of a sudden, my head felt like it was on fire.
you got zapped.
I got like
I think he did too.
Oh, I know he did. I know he did.
I got like dizzy. Like
Yep.
I felt I had to grab my head.
Yep.
Just, yeah, like it felt like right up in here, right at the top of my ball cap. It felt like it got super hot.
What happened there was y'all got too close to a clan. Mama, babies, and everything, and the day watchers told you
Zapped you.
by burning your head up, hey, you're too close. Because I got a video, I had the exact same thing happen to me, but I when it started hurting so bad, I stopped and backed out. And when I left that area, my head stopped hurting. How about yours?
Now, like I mean, that was live, so that's why I'm doing this live, because I don't like doing videos. I like people to experience it while I'm there. And yeah, it'll be saved on my page, but like Lael was able to watch that happen to me, and I
did.
I don't know.
saw it.
Could you see the pain in my face? Could you see me?
Yes. Yes. It was obvious. You just stopped where you were, and didn't you tell? Damn, what's your friend's name? John, Jeff?
John.
John, yeah. Didn't you say come back toward me?
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
Because you were afraid of, I mean, you were that something was wrong, and you knew it was wrong, and you didn't, and you wanted somebody closer to you.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
the,
so-
And you-
Yeah,
yeah.
so basically what happened was when they walked into that spot, Ryan was the closest. But when John walked away toward another area and he come back to you and had that bad feeling, you got your head burned up. That tells me that the day watchers and that dominant male was telling you, hey, buddy, you're too close. Back up.
That's what I thought.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened to me. And I've been zapped 4 to 5 times already.
It
It
hurt.
does not
It hurt like hell. It felt like I needed to grab onto a tree because I was going to fall over.
exactly.
Yeah.
You
It
got burned.
it burnt my head right here, but I
Yeah.
immediately was like trying to get my bearings. I was like, hold on, my head feels like it's burning right now.
I told him, let's get the hell out of here.
He turned around and walked away, and I
Well,
slowly.
Yeah, I seen that part where he turned and walked away. He made like a beeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
he
seen
had
that. Now,
but
now, now I can tell you.
I'm sorry, Greg.
All right. Now I can tell you. You experienced what I've experienced 4 to 5 times. Only time you get burned like that is when you get too close to the clan, like the mother and the babies. You
Okay.
got you got too close. They got nervous, and they told you by burning your head up, get the hell away from here.
Yeah, I didn't like it. It felt like there was a fire under my ball cap.
Exactly. Yes.
I never
And
experienced.
didn't John already say earlier that somebody spoke to him in his mind and said go back
Yep.
Yeah, that was really
or
weird.
something
He
or
got,
something, and you said, "Oh my God, you've never done that. Is that like mind speak? Oh my God," or
Okay,
paraphrasing, but
John.
Something
John.
inside that don't keep going.
All right, John. What did you say when you heard that?
I told him something's telling me to turn around and get the hell out of here. I want to leave.
There you go.
yep,
Because
yep,
what y'all are experiencing, what you experienced, is what I've experienced 4 to 5 times.
I experienced it one other time, but where he's seen the juvenile.
Right. But see, you got too close to the clan. So now when you go back and you get that feeling, don't walk in that area. Back out of it. Just say Ehina and back out.
it was real thick in there. A lot of saplings. You could see we were trying to maneuver through the brush. Like
You can see how thick it is.
it was pretty thick.
Yeah.
it was.
Yep. Yep. So now you know what I go through when I get too close to a clan. So now
Yeah,
you can.
If
Now
I
you
would have kept going, honestly, it would have probably made me pass out.
Yeah, if you'd have stayed there and walked forward, you would have passed out.
Yeah, I felt like if I kept going anymore, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. And the only thing I could say was, hold on, bro. My head feels like it's on fire.
Yep.
And I didn't
Yep.
I didn't correlate that at the time though.
Yeah. Now I was by myself when it
Well, I
happened to me.
did.
But I was by myself when it just happened. But you had somebody with you that had that told him get the hell out. Mind speak. Then you got your head burned up when he said, let's
So
get
when
out
you
of here.
have something in your head that tells you to back out, that's what they're calling mind speak.
Yep. Exactly.
It could just, well, Ryan, it could just be intuition.
No. Nope.
I
I'm
don't
telling you.
Well,
Wishing either.
Yeah, I'm telling you from experience. What John experienced and what Ryan experienced, I've experienced them at the exact same time. Get the hell out and my head being burned.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a new area. It was just something I decided. I left my recorder there. I left the new bait trap there. I hung it up in the tree. I was hoping everybody could see us do that.
yeah, you could see that part.
I know it cut in and out. It just, I'm going to start doing it live so people, when I tell people, when you tell somebody something secondhand or upload a video, it's not the same as experiencing it. If you're experiencing it live, people can really see like, holy crap, that happened. That's, oh my God, I can't believe that. Or it might make somebody a believer if something happens, or if you get a Sasquatch on film while it's live, that.
Ryan, I'm gonna look for that video of the one of me being burned, and want you to look at when you see the expression on my face, I had tears coming out of my eyes.
It actually it made my eyes and nose water.
That's what he said. My nose was watering too, but I didn't get.
Oh,
Yep. Because
yes, I remember that. I remember that. Ryan said my nose is watering, and John said mine has been
yeah,
for
because
5 minutes, or I don't know, but yeah,
After I got struck, my nose.
it was
yeah,
a
because
good damn video. Even parts of it was pixelated. It was interesting, and I thought it was great, Ryan, man.
yeah. Now, all right, now what you need to do is when you approach a new area, you know where that spot is. Stay stay out on the boundary line of it. Go about your business. But I can guarantee you, you go back to that spot tomorrow, you will not feel this. They won't be there in that spot because you done found out where they're at, and they're gonna get nervous. And they're gonna move somewhere else. So you're gonna be all right tomorrow, man. But I'll tell you what, when you get what John got and what you got, you know what I say? Welcome to the club, brother. Now you know how I felt.
I don't want to experience. And the weirdest thing is, it started off really dull all of a sudden, and then it got real hot. It was like, zing. That's what I could. That's the best word I can come up with.
Exactly.
And I was just like, I grabbed my head, like I held the phone, like I just grabbed my head because I was like, my head is on fire. Like that's sort of thing, like what to help the.
Y'all need to go watch the video.
Now, when you backed out of the area, did you slowly feel the tension leave your head when you backed away from it?
Within 10 feet.
Yep, exactly. That's it. Because on mine, I said they're starting to hurt. They're starting to zap me, and then I said, and you can hear me say, "My God, man, you're killing me! Stop trying to kill me!" And it got intensified. It went from like 10 to 40, and that's when I had tears on my eyes, and I just stopped and backed out of the area. I backed up about 10 to 15 feet, and the further I backed up, the less pain was in my head until I got to the point where it was completely gone.
Yeah, and my eyes almost started watering, but it was more like my nose. I was like I wanted to cry, like I had an onion, and it was just like I couldn't deal with it all at once.
Now, can you explain to me exactly how that happened? Can you explain to me how they do that?
No.
I can't explain it, but I've thought of some theories, and it could be the infrasound, but there's a number of theories.
Infrasound is a good. That might not be the answer, but infrasound jiggles your insides, and you don't realize it, and upset your insides and makes you sick and makes you dizzy.
Okay.
Even if it's not from a Bigfoot.
Okay, Paul Horsley. The day I videoed that group, I got my head burned up, and I smelled the god awful odor. I said, "Y'all stole my jars, and where y'all at?" And both times he said, "Here's the infrasound you heard that I never heard." I don't know how he did it, but he picked it up on my video. It says, and we are here. They spoke to me, but I didn't hear it. They answered me.
Right.
John, they told him, and he understood it because he got nervous quick and got scared and come over.
John who?
My buddy.
Oh, you're John. Oh, Ryan's John. Okay.
Yeah.
And not to be big-headed or nothing, but I don't scare easily. I'm not really.
That's the way I am. I don't scare easily at all, but when something like that happens to you, didn't you get a slight shiver up your spinal cord?
You know what he said? He said the hair on my back is thinning.
Yes. I remember that. He did. He said the hair on my back is standing up, and you said,
"Oh, thank God someone has experienced what I experienced. Thank God."
It might not have been right at that moment, but there was a thing or two that John said, his hair standing up, or saying we need to stop or go back, something, and you said you never feel that way.
Never.
Yeah, he
You
doesn't
said
use
to Ryan, you said to John.
It was a very uneasy feeling, is what it was.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
and Ryan said you never feel that way.
Wasn't scared. I wasn't terrified. I was just very uneasy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the thing was, it's an amazing structure. Did you actually able to take in and see the structure?
I did. Yes.
There's a ton of sticks there. I mean, well over 100 in place on one tree, in all different directions. It was quite amazing to actually take this structure in.
It really was.
Yeah, it took some time, and they were weaved in and out of each other. What's that?
Yeah. So you see how intelligent these creatures are when it comes to building stuff.
What I can't understand is why are they building these structures? Well, I understand. I get it. I get what you're saying, but this is rural. I mean, that was like 5 minutes out of the city that I found this in this certain area. Why would they build such a big one so close to an area like this?
Because, well, that's the question that we don't know.
It was like 100 yards of railroad tracks.
Oh, okay, but hold on for a second. We got a question from the chat line. Go ahead, Daniel.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me pull it back up. All right, I'm going to ask this question here, and then Thomas Kemp has another question for you. I told him go ahead and ask it. So, but let me ask this other question first. It's from it's not directed to anybody specifically. From Mark. Question is Bigfoot more evolved than humans? Smarter, faster, bigger brains, more abilities, perhaps? I believe that's very possible.
That's a tough question.
I don't think so.
Apparently they have the knowledge and instinct to be as smart as they are to avoid us in most cases. I don't know. I mean,
they are extremely smart.
They're very cunning. They're intuitive. They're very cunning, and they're more tactical than we are. They're able to avoid us.
Now you're learning what I'm learning.
But that doesn't make them more evolved. Evolved is having a credit card and building fire and having a house and education. That's evolved.
You got to expect Sasquatches have been learning for thousands of years from the Indians.
But how do you know that, Fred? You don't know that.
How else would a Sasquatch learn?
Animal instinct.
Animal instinct? Yeah, I'm going to build me a structure here. I'm going to call that home. They're doing stuff that's natural.
No, they don't build a home. They build a place out of the elements.
But it's
if
still
they're going to do anything. So does a fox. A fox will dig a hole. An owl will go into a tree. So an animal will do what it has to do to survive.
It's still a home to them.
Yeah, but it's
just like
it's a home because you're calling it a home, but to them it's just a shelter.
The known primates, man. Some primates build their nest up in trees. Some of them build them halfway up a tree. Some of them build them in the ground or on the ground.
Right, you're right. But they do it every night.
Right now.
All right, go ahead, Daniel.
And the ones that build them above the ground only avoid predators, but a majority of them do build them on the ground. Your chimpanzees, gorillas, a lot of them build their nests and everything on the ground, and they've been doing that. But they rarely
go back to the same one. They build a new one every night, fresh.
Right. Now here's a question for you. Where did they learn the language? Each area has a different particular language. Like in my area, it's ancient Cherokee dialect. They speak it here. I speak to them, and they don't answer, but they respond.
Well, it depends how you want to look at it. If you want to look at it like they're animals, or if you want to look at them like they're humans, an older human, then they would get it from whoever taught them, their parents, from their parents to their
Exactly.
parents.
It's handed down through the generations over thousands of years.
Yeah, and animals can do that.
They learned it from the language and the writing from the Indians.
But we don't know.
Well,
We don't know
well,
if
how
that's
else are
right.
they going to learn?
Everybody's assuming all these sticks, all the glyphs, or if they're glyphs, that they have a meaning. We don't know that because we can't communicate with them.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting. That's interesting. That's
You
very
don't
interesting.
have a dictionary of their
You don't need a
language.
dictionary. It's
You are
common
guessing
sense.
and you're
It's
speculating
it's
on what is being
it's
said,
it's.
what
I'm
that hoop meant,
I'm
what
going
that.
by I'm going by what I learned from 1981 up to now from these squatches.
Right.
I don't talk to people about, oh, can you tell me about this, can you tell me about that? No. I learn
No.
from the squatches themselves in the woods. I learn by their structures and the way they survive as things they leave.
But
It
they
teaches me. It's common sense.
they're habituating you. You're not habituating them.
No, I'm going into their area, true. I'm going into their bedroom. I go into their bedroom. They hang around and watch me. If you look at my videos close enough, you can see them watching me. They throw rocks at me. You know, I make certain
But
like like
that's teaching you. Throwing rocks at you is teaching you. It's
they're let
teaching you to stay out of get
what
out of their area.
what they're
But
doing is
it's not.
they're giving their location away. When you go in there, you
It's
don't know
just
where
like
they're
as
at.
if a dog growls at you. You know, yeah, get the hell away from the fence. You know.
Right, right. But when you go into an area, you don't know where they're at. I try to make them give their location away. Like I made a video on location, how to give the location away. I said they'll follow you, stop, look around, walk a few feet, stop a mid step. They'll take that one last step to get in position. When they did that, I turned the camera and zoomed in at 80 feet, and there was a 9-footer standing, squatting down right at the tree looking at me. Right behind, there were 6 surrounding me that day.
Yeah. Well,
They,
I'm not
they,
saying
they, they,
you haven't
they
learned
give,
how to find them.
they give
I'm
their
just saying.
location away, and they take
Yeah. And
everything, everything they've learned is to down through generations from the Indians.
because you said so.
No,
We don't know for
that's what
sure.
that's what I'm seeing.
You're talking to them in Cherokee and whatever, but what if they don't understand that? You don't know.
Well, it seems funny because I picked up some chatter one day. I sent it to a lady friend of mine in Arizona. She sends it back and says, "What you're listening to is ancient Cherokee dialect." So I started studying it, and when I speak it, I get response. So they know what I'm saying.
Hmm.
I just
Okay.
haven't. I haven't. I mean, I hear sounds. I don't hear words yet, unless I get lucky and happen to catch it on my older recorder to leave it out in the woods. The only thing I picked up was whoops and chattering. That's it.
I think a lot of that also will depend on your area because the people who are in the Four Corners hear ancient Navajo. The people who are up in the western states hear whatever the Skookum or whatever that tribes all around the west, Pacific Northwest here. You
Yeah.
know? So I think a lot of it has to do that we know our areas and we know what type of Native Americans used to inhabit that area. And that's what we want to believe that they speak or understand because they've supposedly lived in that area forever.
A guy in Mexico or in the Gulf of Mexico was a Spanish teacher. He went out to his cabin one weekend and he left his audio recorders out to pick up the sounds of birds. He left one of the recorders out on his
Stop.
porch, and what he picked up was old Spanish that they don't speak anymore. And it was a Squatch talking to his son, saying, "Son, this is a story from the heart." Now that was spoken in I would say old Spanish that they don't speak anymore.
Hey, Fred, I got a question for Nikki, bud.
Okay, go ahead.
Nikki, I got a question for you.
Go.
You have a research area of your own?
Yeah, I had an area in Arizona back when I was going to it, but it's just too far away. And then the last time I went there, it was had a lot of evidence of people going in there.
Are you of native descent?
No.
No? That was a.
Well, you know what else I was thinking? Like, a lot of people are experiencing this native language, right? So let's think outside the box. What if Sasquatch is trying to communicate with us, right? Well, let's say they grew up alongside of Native Americans. They're for generations, right?
Like Fred said.
And they
Right.
heard the Indians speak this language, right?
Right.
When they see us, maybe they think
We're
that
Indian.
we're Indian, or they can communicate with us by saying what they've heard from Indians, like mimicking the Indians. You know what I'm saying? That could be a possibility. We don't know.
Yeah, that is a good possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. I'm just being the
Yeah.
devil's advocate here.
Could be.
That
you,
we
but you
don't
gotta,
know.
yeah, but you gotta expect. In Canada, they got a particular Indian language they speak.
Yeah,
In
but I've
Wash-
heard Canadians say that they speak French.
Yeah.
So it could be anything. Whoever, it doesn't matter. You're always going to have that possibility
But they
that it
still,
could be
but they,
influenced by who
but
you
they
are and what
still,
you speak.
but they still learn, and they pass it down to their children.
Well, that's
All the way
what you
down.
think. Yeah, that's what you think. You don't know if they already know the language. If they speak a language.
I've heard them
I
speak.
think
I've
I
heard them
think
speak.
I think they have a language. I don't know if it's Cherokee or French or Spanish,
I gotta go get
and
you
it may
some
be an ancient dialect of some sort. I know, but I heard chatter a number of times just in the day and night, 2 days or 2 nights I camped out, and it's definitely odd, weird, strange, and they are communicating with each other. If it's something we can relate to that we know of, French, Spanish, Cherokee, whatever, or if not, if it's their own thing, they talk.
When I spoke with Ron Moorhead, I don't know, last month, the stuff that Scott Nelson had gone over, clear language. And you got to remember, Ron Moorhead's Sierra Sounds, that was like 15 miles in the Sierra Mountains. I mean, they drove like 4 miles off the road till they couldn't drive anymore into a certain location, and then they hiked the rest of the distance.
Exactly.
It was so far away, I mean, that their base camp, that the chances of that being hoaxed or anything is ridiculous. So
Yep.
the language they caught is very interesting, and for
The samurai chatter, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah, that's what they call
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So when I started catching language like that, and I started sending my stuff to Scott Nelson and other people, I don't have full words like that, but I have certain, what do I say, phrases or singular words.
But that's my whole point right there, is that I would not constitute the samurai chatter as a Native American dialect. That's their own dialect. If they were to have language to me, that seems like a language.
I think it's regional. I think that the language varies, the dialect varies by area you're in.
I absolutely think so too.
I think so
Absolutely,
too.
because I think there's a different species in every area.
Up here, okay, now Fred said down there it's a Cherokee Indian. Now up here it's a Seneca. Okay, now their language is, I used to date an Indian, a native chick, and it sounds like it sounds like that. But that's what, from what I've heard, them speak their language to each other, and then I heard these recordings. I can very easily put them together.
Now you got to expect. like the guy who helped his son on recording. The guy was a Navy guy, break code. He took
Walker.
he took the Sierra Sounds. He took one section of it and slowed it down. I think like 85 to 90%.
Scott, yeah.
Yeah, and then you could understand what they're saying. It's like walking into the way it sounds when I hear them chatter. It's like walking into a fish a fish market in China,
That's a good way to put it.
because all you hear is that. Blah, 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 blah. That's how fast they talk.
Well, actually, I'm glad you said that because when we pulled up today, we heard somebody talking. We heard some language, and I had to pause it real quick.
Couldn't make it out.
And I couldn't make it out because it was so fast.
And it was kind of far away.
Yeah.
It was far away, but like I was talking and doing the blog and putting the meat in.
Y'all heard them chatter.
We just got.
We had
Yeah.
like it was almost like they were warning, hey, they're somebody's here. And
Exactly. Yeah.
I paused. I don't even know if you could hear it on the video. I don't know because I haven't.
You
checked.
couldn't. I couldn't hear it at the time, and I think I ran it back a second, and I couldn't hear it.
It was.
But I haven't tried it with headphones. But I believe that you heard it.
It was on the other side of the tracks, and I like immediately I heard it. It didn't catch, and then I stopped, and I looked at him, and I said, "Did you hear that?" And like simultaneously, we said, "It sounds like somebody talking."
Exactly.
And I looked across. We
And-
both looked across the tracks, and it was coming from a section of woods across. And it was like it was.
And then
Go ahead.
And then John ran over and went down the tracks.
Right, like there was no people there. There was nobody there.
Yeah. Which y'all heard was you heard chattering, and they were warning each other that y'all were in the area, and it sounded people talking, but it sounded just far enough away where you couldn't understand what they were saying.
Right.
Exactly.
That's what it was.
That's exactly what it was.
Ryan, I heard that both nights, all night long, when we went, when me and Beth went camping with Fred.
It's almost
all
just
night long.
It's just
all
like
night long, laying in the tent. It was just like you just can't quite make out what they're saying, but you know there's people out there talking.
It's exactly what it is.
And it was all night, off and on.
yeah. And it was amazing. Like I didn't think about that till just now. I totally forgot because that was at the beginning when we had just gotten there within the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I think about it, that might have been some. I wish I could have caught it. I left my
Well, y'all was in the right. Y'all hit the right spot at the right time. I'm proud of you because now you know what I went through.
It's about 6 o'clock tonight.
Exactly. That's about when it happens. And it does not feel good. It does not feel good, but when you hear that chattering, it's like, you hear someone talking? Where? Over there. It's most people don't experience that often.
I did.
You get lucky,
2
I know.
damn nights in a row, from midnight till 5 a.m. Every 20, I don't want to say every 20 minutes, but damn, it seemed like all night long. And I didn't sleep at all the first night. I slept a little bit maybe the second night, but and I heard tree knocks the second night. I heard a whoop. And that same people talking, but you just can't quite make out what they're saying.
Right.
I had an experience about a month ago. I went and camped out overnight by myself.
Okay.
Ryan and another friend of mine stayed with me till right before dark. And after they left, about 10 minutes after they left, man, the woods went up. I heard whistling, I heard these long whoops, and then it stopped. About an hour later, I heard some knocks. Hour after that, I heard some whistling, and after midnight, 1 a.m., the woods just went completely silent.
Yeah, they left the area.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And I had a 12 gauge Remington with me, and I was uneasy for a good hour or two, and then I kind of settled myself down, got into the fire, I got into a little bit of reading.
Well, I can tell you right now that, Ryan, and you're going to start doing this, it's going to be on instinct. You're going to go into an area, and you're going to be real cautious now. You're going to go into it slower, right?
What part of Virginia you in, bud?
Huh?
What part of Virginia you from?
Shenandoah Valley, Waynesboro.
Is it Southern Virginia or Central or Northern?
Right smack,
Western.
right smack in the middle.
Smack in the middle. We might have to come down there and check you out, man.
We're between Richmond and West Virginia.
Okay. I have family in West Virginia.
Yeah, just you'll come down 81, I think. Yeah, 81, I think. 81 or 95, one to two.
I think I'll take the 76 right in. Yes.
Don't give directions right now, Fred. Let's just keep chatting, and we'll figure that out later.
Okay.
Well, we're just giving a roundabout way, you know. I mean, you know. But now that y'all have experienced what I experienced, when I first experienced it, when I started going into my areas, I started going slower. Listening.
Have you ever experienced anything like that?
Experienced what?
Any type of
interaction
where
No, nothing. I've never experienced one thing. All the times I've been out there, all I've found are tracks and tree structures, but I have never had one encounter or one sound, and that's what kept making me want to continue looking.
So you consider yourself a skeptic?
No, I'm a believer. I believe they're real, but I want to see it with my own eyes. I want to have my own experience.
Who doesn't?
So,
come on over here, Nikki.
So I know, I wish you weren't 3 damn days away.
Well, you're only 4 hours on a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, $800.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you can take a train for about 200.
Oh my God, I had the worst train experience.
How about a bus?
But that's another story.
Oh God, who wants to take a bus?
No, I'll drive myself. If I'm gonna take a road, I drive myself. But.
Oh, by the way,
You should try to come,
Nikki, the live chat is loving you, Nikki.
We all love her too.
Jump in your canoe.
Let's see.
Oh, it's one of those.
Here's a question on the live chat from Pokey. Has anyone on the panel ever heard of a Bigfoot saying an English word?
Yes.
I heard the word hey. But that could be universal.
I hear hey all the time, you know, when I'm out by myself, you know, but I don't pay attention to it. Because
when we were all camping, when Layla and her...
Getting in a popcorn.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when Layla and them were up here, I don't know what it was, but I heard something like, it sounded like it said hey. I mean, I didn't see where it came from, but I heard that.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
I'm not going to...
Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, 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 like that. It ain't hey, it's like, hey, hey.
Yeah, and I know for a fact with the direction it came from, there was no one over there. I mean, I could honestly say that much, but, you know.
Was that Friday night coming from across the road?
I think yeah, exactly. The night we were hearing a lot of stuff that night. So
we heard
that was definitely an interesting night.
Before we went to bed.
Yeah, John, you ought to put Ryan in a cage and bring him down here for a weekend.
Put him in a cage.
He said put him in a cage.
We use him for bait.
I've got the next 3 weeks because my girlfriend's going to Guatemala to study abroad for her studies. So
come on down.
So for 2.5 weeks, I've got that's the open frame I got because weekends are set up for her. So
Well, come on down.
you're not far from here. You're probably about 10 hours or 8 hours from me.
All right, well, come on down.
I'm actually gonna probably this week and next week. I wanted to do some research up in one of my main areas because I haven't been up there in about 2 or 3 weeks now.
Right. Yeah, about 2 weeks.
So I'd like to get up there and actually spend some time, even if it's just hanging out up there, putting some lawn chairs out, doing normal stuff. I believe that we attract them. They're very hard to find, so I think that they find us.
We got to arouse their curiosity is what it is.
Like I said, the experiences I had when I seen them, it was just by pure happenstance while I was metal detecting. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have seen them. But I was spending hours and hours in the woods, you know what I mean?
I got to go, people. I'll see you later. Take care.
All right. Take it easy, man. Thanks for being on.
No problem.
So Ryan, join the club, brother. Now you've been in the head burning.
You've been zapped.
Yeah.
Well, if that's what you want to call it, I mean, I didn't like it at all.
No, you won't. It hurts.
It hurt like
hell. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. My eyes and my face, and it definitely was not comfortable.
Yeah. Now, the more you go in, if they stay in that area, the more you go in there, the more they get used to you. And you can get close, but they won't let you get too close. They'll throw a rock at something and let you know that you're getting too close. But the more you go in the area, and, do like I do. Just do off-the-wall stuff to get the curiosity up, to let them know that you're not a threat.
The one thing I'm going to say is that they seemed in this area very aggressive. And I don't know if that's because people didn't know that they were there or what, but they were very aggressive. I had that feeling like...
Do you think it could have been from that cabin in the woods?
No, this was the new area today. This happened today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this happened about 6 o'clock tonight when I was live.
This was near Ryan, out town, near your cousin's house.
Yeah, I'll explain real quick. She lives in a trailer park off of Lakeshore Drive, it's called. It's about 3/4 of a mile to a mile away. But she called and said that she kept hearing screams every night. She said, "Hey, cuz, I know you're into this stuff." Her name is Susie, and she said, I have the windows open and I hear these screams. Like behind her trailer park is probably, I wrote in the blog, it's like 150 or 200 acres of like brush and marshy atmosphere, and nobody goes back there. It's just dank. You'd have to crawl through some of it. So the trailer park doesn't even use it. And beyond that is a set of railroad tracks, and then it breaks off into more woods, which follows the tracks. And it's 60 to 80 acres on that side, but it follows it on both sides for miles. 8 miles to Silver Creek, and then whatever else toward Erie. So could they be using that as a walkway back and forth easily?
Is there a power line going through the area anywhere?
Well, it's actually down behind some warehouses. I showed where I turn off this. Okay, you turn off the main road onto a warehouse road. Off the warehouse road, you turn onto a railroad track road.
Right.
And once you go down the railroad track road, that's the section of woods that I found the structure in. So we went into there. There is a power line, but it's not near. There's a creek near there.
Have you been over to the creek yet?
I have not yet.
Go over and look. Start looking for tracks.
Like I said, this was our first trip, and I was intrigued because that day last week when I just stopped there briefly, I could see the structure, 60 yards in the woods. That's how big it was. And I was like, wow, I got to get some quick photos, and I'm coming back. I got the photos. I wrote the blog on Bridging the Gap on my page.
Right, because I know I had seen that structure with all the freaking sticks, limbs.
Right.
Okay, so that was last week or whatever.
Right. Well, I had just wrote it.
And you went all the way in
Right. So I went in, grabbed a couple photos, got out of there, and then today I went in and I wanted to go live, and I showed everybody what we were doing. I figured I'd place a DNA trap out there that we have, so hopefully I could get a sample and send it away. Well, we experienced quite a bit of stuff. So if you start putting things together, we experienced what? We experienced some kind of talking that we don't know what it was. We experienced, both of us, some type of feeling where he was told to get out of there, and my head was hurting, and eyes and nose were watering. After, I don't
His
know.
nose was watering too.
Right. And then we found the structure, obviously. He found a letter A, which we also found in another
Yep.
area. But the thing is, like, I started reading about that. I don't look at every tree break. I don't look at every tree structure. I'm not one of them people that just says, oh, snow load, wind, and rot. Focus on that. You could tell the difference. I'm a hunter. I'm in the woods. I know what I'm doing. I don't just jump on board with anything. I'm not like that. So he found that letter A, which I shared with people, which is pretty amazing. You know what I mean? So if you start adding all these things up, it's starting to make sense that they're there for a reason, and they were obviously there today, which means to me, like, are they traveling that? Do they live there? I mean, what better way with all the noise? There's trains, there's warehouses. Nobody's really going back there except the railroad, whenever. And
You're learning what I'm learning.
well, I'm going to tell you what. From now on, I've always heard people say, oh, 10 minutes out of the city or 5 minutes out of the city, there's Sasquatch. And I've always thought to myself, I could see 20 minutes, because our real countryside for me is like 20 minutes. I can understand that, 30 minutes. But I was thinking 5 minutes out of the city. Are you crazy? Are you kidding me? But now, you know what? I'm going to start taking those reports more seriously because of what I've found and what is happening to me. So then I found all those bones. There was bones everywhere. I don't know. Something got eaten. I couldn't really tell what it was. It didn't look like a deer. It almost looked like coyote bones, like a coyote hip or a shoulder blade bone. I almost was intrigued enough to grab it and send it to get tested, but I know it's not of Sasquatch descent, so there'd probably be no reason. Just that'd be my curiosity to say, hey, what is that?
But you're learning. What I see. Now you know what I'm going through when I go in the woods. You're experiencing.
Hey, Ryan, there's a question on the chat for you.
All right,
Okay,
go ahead.
what's up?
The question is, Ryan, what do you think their purpose is?
What do I think of Sasquatch purposes as far as what?
It's not really being specific on that one, but maybe in general, I don't know.
Well, they're there to survive.
live.
You have to remember their whole life is survival. We have a house. We go to the grocery store. We do all this. It's been provided for us. We're lazy. Human beings are lazy in general. Whether it's we don't do half of anything the Native Americans used to do. We don't live off the land. We're not like Amish people. It's ridiculous. So they have to survive. So every day they have to get food, shelter, water, whatever it may be. So their main purpose is to survive. And you have to stay away from people if that's what it is. So that is their purpose, to survive. They don't have a purpose as far as communicating with us. They're their own.
Now, not to interrupt you, but she did go on to add reason for being.
That really didn't help, but I mean, their reason for being here, I don't really know that. I don't think anybody will know that until we actually have a body on the table.
I say survive.
Which is unfortunate.
Well, what is our reason for being? We're here, so we have to be here. That's kind.
It's a hard question. If they would elaborate more on the lines of what they were thinking, you know, if they had it more directed, you could try to answer that. But the encounters that we've had are getting greater and greater, and it is the month of May. So I think people need to start really taking a look at that.
Interesting.
Yeah, she was saying, could they be a keeper of the animals, or stuff like that? Which
could they be like a protector of the forest?
Which I think, I mean, yeah, according to some native tribes, they are considered the guardian of the forest. I mean, so.
I mean, I've heard everything from Enoch,
or like the big brother,
I say right. Descendants from Enoch.
Yeah, I've heard everything from Enoch to Nephilim to, there's sections in the Bible where it says that certain things were cast out to live in the forest for the rest of their lives, like the bad people or whatever, whatever it states. But there's so many things that we don't know what it is. But to me, it's more human-like. The encounters that I had, the way I seen the big male and the juvenile, they were more human-like. They were not gorillas. They were not Gigantopithecus. Maybe more like Australopithecine, where they were more human-like. So they branched off somewhere. I don't know where. I don't have the answers yet, but hopefully someday we will.
Now, Pokey just added something on here. I'm not sure what video she's referring to. She said, I saw this video where the guy said he saw structures that Bigfoot had built for other animals. And then she goes on to say, I wonder if that was to get animals to come in so Bigfoot could trap them.
Well, that's
interesting.
I have a quick theory on that. I don't know, and this is only my theory, so I'm going to try to test my theory, but time and time again, everybody's been told that when you hear coyotes or coyotes are near, usually Sasquatch are near. I don't know why that is, but that's what I've heard. But actually, am I right? A lot of people think that. So
a lot of people do think that.
Well, there's a little kicker in that because when Daniel and his daughter was camping in my area, they heard coyotes, and all of a sudden there was 4 eyeballs looking at them.
Well, what I'm trying to get at is I thought outside the box. A Sasquatch makes whooping sounds and they do things. Well, what answers them is coyotes usually, or what answers humans when they whoop is coyotes. I believe that the Sasquatch can possibly whoop to bring in the coyotes or attract the coyotes to them and possibly hunt the coyotes or eat the coyotes.
Well, I heard a pack of coyotes one night, and I think there was one, maybe 2 squatches in the group because I know what the coyotes sound like, and these pitches were longer and deeper, and they were running with the coyotes.
Well, that's the thing. Do you know if it was running with? You don't know if it's running with it, but maybe it was chasing it. Maybe they drew them in and they're hunting them.
Well, if you know the sound of a coyote when they're running in a pack and they're hunting, there's a particular bark they use.
Right. But I'm saying they could have been being chased by a Sasquatch.
If they were being chased by a Sasquatch, they would have been letting out distress squeals while they ran. The sounds I heard were hunting. They were hunting in a pack, but there was a Squatch in the group somewhere because there was a lower, deeper, and longer. It was sounded just like the coyotes. It was
then you have to think, like, I think Daniel brought this up, like, what if they stick near coyotes so coyotes can make the kill and then they come in and steal the food?
All right, now here's what I think. You got crows, you got coyotes.
Or act as scavengers.
Yeah, exactly. All right, the coyotes follow the Squatch. Squatch makes a kill. He eats what he wants. Coyotes come in, scavenge it up. Crows come in, scavenge what's left of that. It's a chain of command going down. The Squatch, the coyotes, then the crows. Because whenever I hear a bunch of crows going ballistic, there's a Squatch around. We have a pack of coyotes in my research area up in the back of Kennedy Fields. I got them on audio. I've heard them I've heard them one night, and I know Daniel heard it because I said when you hear one lone coyote, then all of a sudden you hear the whole pack going crazy. So look behind the camp, you'll see there'll be two of them standing there looking at you.
But I have heard people say, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
one way is right or the other way is right, but I have heard people say that the Squatch follow the coyotes and steal their kill, and
Right,
I have
there's
also,
there's no
but
reason
I
not to
have
think that. Neanderthal did that, you know,
I,
that there's
but I've also heard the other way around,
right.
that the Sasquatch makes the kill, eats what they want, and the coyotes come and get the rest. And it could go either way or both.
Well, the way I look at it is,
You know?
if a Sasquatch is so big, yeah, I know they're quick. They would, I mean, why not? Why expend all your energy if they're that big? So if they can be smart, and they are smart enough to do that, why not have somebody else hunt for you, or make the kills
Exactly.
or make kills easier? It is very possible. We don't know for sure, but you know, it's just a theory that if we pay attention to, you never know.
All right, I
Well,
got another question on the live chat.
all right, go ahead. I'm going to jot my
Coming from
question down for later, though.
okay.
Go ahead.
All right,
Go
and
ahead,
this
Dan.
question comes from Mark Novick again. All right, he says, questions. Say they find a Bigfoot body. How would that change or impact the Bigfoot community? That's a good question. I'll start off on that one. All I'm going to say is I think in general you're going to get a majority of them trying to, depends on how if it's proven to be authentic or real, you're going to get the ones going to be you're going to have your naysayers. Then on the other hand, if it is proven otherwise that it's the real deal, I think you're going to have a lot of crybabies, people wishing, man, that was supposed to be us, kind of thing. But I think it'll be exciting to many, like big breaking news. Um, a lot of your believers and knowers are gonna maybe get to take that and throw it in the skeptic's face. I think it could be a mixture of a little bit of everything. I don't know. What do you guys think?
6 to 8 months after a Bigfoot body is brought out and proven by the government, there will be no more Bigfoot community because there would be no reason to have it. There would be no reason to have shows. There would be no reason. The next thing you'd be seeing is research on them, TV shows about what it was, more research, more sanctions on things.
Right.
Everything's just going to fold up because there's no more questions. Because as long as they answer all the questions, that is, and they prove it, and it's government right there in your face, and the president gets on TV and says it, or whoever it is, then there's no reason for the Bigfoot community. What are we going to do? There's nothing else left to do in my opinion.
Right. I actually agree with you
because then scientists take over.
And that actually answers the next Mark's next question. I mean, basically, because he says if they found the body, would they just give it up their search for them, or maybe just let them be? Maybe if that's the case, maybe they could get declared officially, and if
it's official, I don't think the government would give up their search. We would, because it's proven. I mean, it's there it is. What are we going to gain? I mean, maybe some actual habituators that just want to keep doing what they're doing to learn for themselves independently. But I think a lot goes away after it's proven. I could just see that happening. Science takes over. They write the blogs. They provide the answers to us, and so on and so forth. People like us, we would just be speculating then, kind of like we are now.
Then the logging business and state parks. There's going to be you would have a total
economical
closed down. of a lot. Yeah.
And that's
Right.
that's one reason that I think they'll never tell us anyway. Just
Yeah.
for the fact of that, but it's the history, man. They got to rewrite history.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you would have an economic outrage, like what Layla was saying.
That could affect
And here's
religion.
some more questions popping up.
Go ahead. That could affect religion and everything.
Um, Very possible.
Yeah, that's
Let's
true
see.
too.
Okay, Pokey was saying, but if they had a body, couldn't they then have all they need to compare hair and DNA samples found in other places to confirm? I mean, I think that's, yeah. I
Yes,
don't
yes, Pookie, but they already have it.
Well, the only problem would be
know.
That's just, and that's all I'll say.
is like Nikki said, if they're different species, like
Oh,
what if
she's
that
still there?
the thing is like what if they're still Australopithecines? What if they're still Neanderthals? They're not all the same, so maybe that's why they look different and speak different in all the areas. We don't know yet. So what if we did have a body on the table and it was one from, I'm just going to pick a state, Connecticut, and then we test samples in Southwest Texas and it doesn't match, but we know it was, or there's two bodies, let's say, and they don't match. So that's the thing, you don't know that. I mean, there could be 10 different species of Sasquatch. We'll never know.
I
Yeah.
think that
Patrick
I
Cassidy
think that
asked.
could I think that could be very true, but at the same time, I feel like they would be able to match, the DNA would match to some point.
I'd like to make one quick point. If people in the chat asking questions, I think they should. I don't know if they know or not, but a lot of people. I've done a lot of research on mound builders, especially in my area. I'm near Lilydale, New York. I'm about 8 minutes away. I'm just about an hour south of Niagara Falls, and in this area, we had a lot of mound builder structures. Um, the ancient Indians actually stated that they were not related to these people. They would dig big mounds in the ground, and in 1890s they were excavated, and big 10-foot skeletons, 12-foot skeletons were dug out of the earth.
Yep.
In our county,
Mhm.
our county of Chautauqua, which was named by the Indians, um, they have an extensive paperwork written up about the mound builders, but there's still no bones, there's no bodies. They found earthworks and tools and all kinds of stuff about these ancient mound building people. But still, when I talk to the Senecas could clearly state we were not affiliated with these people from way back. Their heritage, they that's, so we don't know what they are.
Well,
So
we discussed last week or the week before. The Smithsonian has just
Destroyed a whole bunch of stuff.
the Smithsonian has just admitted that in the early 1900s they destroyed thousands of giant bones.
Because
Yeah.
it did not go with the history we have today. So they would
That's
have
right.
to rewrite history, and
Yeah.
that's something that they're not gonna do, because
Nope.
it will prove all these Mr. Know-it-alls, Mr. Science, and all the world's smartest people will make them look dumb. So they're gonna,
Well,
because
science.
Roosevelt saw 'em, Lincoln saw 'em.
Yeah.
hey guys, I actually got to take off. I got to do something. I appreciate the time. I'll be back. Let me know. Sorry to jump out, but I just got to take care of something. So I'll get with you guys next time. And thanks everybody for the questions.
Bye,
Absolutely.
See
Ryan.
you,
And
Ryan.
yeah, Ryan, just a heads up, tomorrow, hopefully if everything goes well, tomorrow we have the Carolina Cryptid Crew still scheduled for tomorrow. So
Sweet.
that's
Cool.
7 o'clock. So,
Awesome.
Cool.
yeah. Yeah, so
Thanks,
hopefully
guys.
that don't change.
All
Awesome.
right.
All right, have a
Bye,
good one, Ryan.
Ryan. Good night.
Later.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, I was trying to keep up with this live chat because there have been, a lot of them are I'm trying to pick out the questions from out of the comments they're saying.
Well, I think me and Nikki had a good one going here for a little while. You know.
I'll be right. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a question on the live chat that just popped up for Nikki.
Go. What is it?
This is Nikki. Where do you think they may have come from?
That
That's
is a
coming from
good
Donna.
question. I think they've probably been around for as long time, as long as the bears have been around, as long as
Yep.
any other animal, because that's where I lean towards. I lean towards that it's a North American ape or whatever, but I'm not real hard on the primitive human descendant part, even though it's been said that they have all the similar features, all, you know, I will change my mind when we get one and it's figured out and they tell us what it is. I will believe it. But for right now, I just think it's been
Right.
out there and it's
Right.
elusive and it doesn't need us to save it because nobody can find it unless they want to be found. So I
Right.
wish, that's what I think. Who knows if they
So
crossed the land bridge way back when?
right. Very possible. That's a possible theory that does float around, and I mean, it's stated that's a theory that how some Native Americans originally showed up here, even though, and through the studies they were saying some were supposedly already native here, but then some came later on from that were what do you call Europe Asians, and um, but now. Is it safe to say? I guess you could say that you believe that there's possibly they're just a species, all of their own kind of, or possibly, or just some kind of primate that's just not been classified, like a lot of people believe.
I think the reason I feel they're more on the animal side is because we have indigenous people who have almost never seen other humans. New Guinea and some of those island paradises, well, not paradises to us, but that
You
haven't seen humans, and we see them,
well, you got that.
Right.
and they are human. I mean, they don't have hair all over their bodies. They have a definite language. They They use fire. They use tools. They do build homes with we know of and stuff. So that's why, and they've been around for a long time. So that's kind of why I think, well, wouldn't they have already, like the question was said earlier, evolved more by now if they weren't on that animal track? They don't need the same things that humans do.
Right. I mean, just like
So,
every other animal in the forest or any in the wild, they've actually adapted to their own survival instincts. Just like
right.
you
They
know.
survive. They only get what they need to get. Food, water, shelter if they need it, but that's it from day
I
to
mean,
day.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree.
But
And
everybody's
Patrick
different.
Cassidy
Everybody
said,
has their own theory.
yeah, I mean, I believe that they were. I mean, one thing I've stated before, my honest opinion is, and I believe that they were, like I stated before, that I kind of lost my train of thought. Oh no, here we go. That they were probably already here, just like the Native Americans were. Because I mean, if Native Americans were acknowledging them, all the different tribes across our, North America, they were acknowledging them. So why can't they have already been here? I mean, some theories are floating around saying that they've maybe came here through the barren land bridge. But what if they were already here anyway, just like with all the other native animals that were here? Um, and what's the other? There's even been stated that there were many years ago signs of actually small primates here. We know dinosaurs here. Dinosaur bones were found and discovered here in North America. So I mean, You know, of course, I know your skeptics and everything will throw that up at us. You know, like, well, if they're finding dinosaur bones, why can't they find? You know, we've already, you know, we've gone into that discussion, you know, before. But so yeah, I
Yeah.
believe, you know, I agree with you. I believe that they were already here. You know, so um, see, and then I'm trying to
But
all
what?
kinds of things jump up in the live chat. All it's hard for me to keep up.
But what were
um,
they?
well,
What
yeah,
are
Patrick
they?
Cassidy, right? Yeah, a good. That's a good question. Patrick Cassidy said, yeah, they had very large animals in North America at one time. I agree 100%. You know, um, hmm.
Any other questions?
Great. I mean, great comments, great stuff. But yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I just saw something else pop up. What was it? Oh, Pokey's asked me, does your daughter believe in Bigfoot? You know what? I'm not
Yes,
really
she
sure. I mean, I think she
does.
does because she's seen a couple things. There's one thing a lot of people don't know that you know, Fred knows about. I've shared it with a lot of people before. We were actually camping. This is what, three was it? Oh, 3 years ago, I think it was.
2.5 years
We were camping
ago.
down in a actual campground. Yeah, right around the corner from Fred's area. And these forests is all connected and all part of Fred's area. Well, the campground that we were camping at, we decided to go walk away from the campground and go into the woods. And there was actually three of us. And my daughter actually ended up at one point while we were walking through the woods, she walked up ahead of us and didn't really pay no mind, but she was like, come to a dead stop. And then as I was walking slowly approached her, I turned to look at her face. She was crying. And then I said, "What's wrong? Why are you crying?" She raised her hand up, started pointing. It's looking at me. It's looking at me. I said, I try to look in the direction she was looking at. I said, "Brianna, I don't see nothing." I said, "What are you seeing?" She was literally in crying, like she was scared, you know. And and she said, "I think I just saw a squatch. I saw the face. It kept peeking its head out and saying, you know, back and forth between behind a tree." And I said, "Where?" Me and the other gentleman try to go in the area, try to look for it, and I don't know. We didn't see nothing, but she claims she saw it. It was probably about her height. You know, she's about around 5'5". Well, then yeah, she was about 5'5" or so, and or 5'6", whatever. So you know, after seeing that, we didn't hear nothing, we didn't see nothing, but she was actually in tears, crying about it, and so I said, all right, just stay with me. Just stay with me. We, you know, the other gentleman kind of split off to the left, and me and my daughter went to the right a little bit. And something up ahead of me in the bushes, you can't see the bushes were so thick. All I know was something violently shook the bushes, and somehow something took off. And I shouted to the other gentleman. I said, "Whatever, something just shook the bushes over here, and it ran off." Couldn't I didn't even get a glimpse at it. I just saw the bushes shake real hard, and I didn't even see a black speck. I'm thinking it could have been a bear, but I think if it was a bear, I think the bear, you know, a bear would have been long gone before we got to it.
Oh yeah, big
Um,
time.
yeah, so I mean, whatever it was, we didn't see nothing, and
I think Brianna is smart enough to even a couple of years ago to
yeah,
know the difference between a bear
she literally
and
just started
something else.
crying. Yeah, I was like, "What the heck are you crying about?" You know, that's what, you know. Like I said, she pointed at, and she told me what she said she saw. You know, and then just this past year, sitting at Fred's camp, you know, we were here in movement, running back and forth from behind the camp down to the side, and she stood
Mm,
up and she said she saw eye shine over down into the direction of the field, and I tried to look. By the time I looked, whatever was there was gone. So I had to investigate the next morning when daylight came around, and I went into that direction. I said, "Show me where you said you saw that eye shine." And she took me. I said, "All right, stand back. Let me look." I wanted to make sure I didn't want her stepping on anything. I wanted to make sure if there was tracks, I wanted to see them because if there is tracks, I will find them. Sure enough, there was like two or three looking impressions in that patch of, you know, that little patch of the bushes next to the trees, and they were probably about between 10 to 12 inches long, you know, and they were kind of wide. And I said, well, sure enough, there was something standing here. You know, right
Brianna,
here, this was
Brianna,
the direction. Yeah, so I
Brianna,
mean, yeah, I believe she does.
Brianna has been with you out enough and for enough years, and she's not gonna cry unless something really hit her. She's unless she really saw something that scared her.
Because I think if she saw a bear, she would have got a little bit more excited about it. Like, there were three
Oh
of
my
us there.
God, Dad, there's a bear. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, and the other thing, I've took her into my area before. There's one area I was actually focusing on for a while, where I found a few interesting things. But the one time I took her in there, man, vocalizations sound like all the primates in the zoo started going crazy. We were hearing all kinds of whoops and weird howls and wails. I mean, right over the ridge from us, and they sounded so close to us. I said, Brianna, are you hearing that? She's like, those coyotes. I said, no, those are not coyotes. I said, Daddy knows coyotes very well. I said, you're not here. Those are not coyotes. I said, the squatches are right here. I said, those are squatches, Brianna. They hear you. I mean, they know we're here. They got excited because there's a little female here. I
Well,
noticed that, females attract them. And I
I
think it's been
went
proven
out
over
in
and
the
over.
I
I'm
went
sorry,
well,
Leo.
yeah, but oh no, I'm sorry, but I went out in the woods a lot as a little girl with my daddy, and of course we weren't squatching, but deer hunting or looking at a Christmas tree or just I spent a lot of time out in the woods with my daddy too, and I trusted my daddy. I knew I was safe with my dad, and I'm sure that's how she feels with you.
Right.
And if she says she feels something, she saw something, I believe she's telling the truth.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I, I,
because yeah,
I
Well,
believe
I had
without doubt she
yeah.
saw one.
yeah, I had those two boys. We had what's that Michael guy's name from Maryland?
Without looking at it, I can't pronounce it. It's a
All
long
right.
name.
Well, him and the
They
fact.
throw the rock.
Okay. 2 years ago, they come into my area in February, and they come down here to to try to make a fool of me, saying there ain't no Sasquatches around. Well, we had the camp surrounded by a tarp, and we had an opening, so we can go to the bathroom. Well, Mike was sitting on the left side of the campfire. His buddy was sitting on the right side, leaning back in a chair against the tarp, and I'm sitting right in the middle behind the fire, and I'm looking straight out toward the field. I see two of them come down toward the camp, and we was talking and everything, and they got close, and I told them, I said, y'all gonna be in for a rude awakening here in a minute. And Mike was going to say, well, you're full of, and right when he's ready to say the word shit, we got we got two, three, whoop, whoop, whoop. One took off across the road, the other come down behind the camp. The one that come down behind the camp raked the tarp and went across the guy's back.
and
Regardless,
for the re-
regardless
for
of
the
the state.
record, this was in the same location where my daughter seen those eyes shine, and we heard the movement.
Yeah,
And it wasn't light movement; it was heavy movement. I mean, running back and forth. You could hear them going through the bushes, and you could hear feet. Literally, you could hear feet running.
I
yeah.
swear.
I just sat
Y'all,
there. I sat there and told them. I said, y'all in for rude awakening, and they thought I was full of it until they heard them whoops and that because the very next morning they packed up and they got the hell out of Dodge.
Let's see.
I swear the Saturday night that we were there, I know Fred said, I guess right after, because Saturday night we all kind of went to bed a little earlier and we all kind of went at the same time. And all went like at 11 or whatever, somewhere around there. And we hadn't heard as much that night as we had heard Friday night. But we had sat up till 2 Friday night, you know, we heard and saw a lot. And Fred went to bed a little like at midnight, but Dan and me and Beth and us, you know, stayed up a little later. But anyway, Saturday night we went to bed about 11:30, whatever, and we were all, me and Beth and Fred, all in the tent together in our own sleeping bags. But Fred
Fred. Go ahead, Lamb.
Fred didn't say till the next day that he had heard 3 steps through the stream right after we had gone to bed. I didn't hear it, and Beth didn't hear it.
I heard breathing.
But I heard, I cannot say 100%. I can say I heard tree knocks, I heard chatter, I heard a whoop, I heard a couple of thuds that night. But I thought, I was almost certain I heard pad, 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 pad across the front of the tent, like from the stream toward your way, Daniel. You know,
Yeah.
through the strip there, our tent and Fred's tent, then our tent, and the between the fire pit and the tents.
Right.
But I was just never, and I'm still not sure enough about it. But I really felt like I heard about, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 soft steps across right in front of our tent. I do know I heard the tree knocks, I do know I heard the whoop, I do know I heard the chatter, and I do know I heard a thud. Maybe 2 thuds. But I wonder, in fact, when I got up in the morning, I kind of looked for footprints in front of the tents, because it just sounded like pad, 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 you know, like a soft step.
What I didn't tell you was when I heard them 3 splashes come across the creek, it stopped and I heard breathing. I heard a deep guttural breathing. But I didn't say nothing to y'all because I know y'all would have had a heart attack. But I
was sure that wasn't me up in my tent. I was just joking.
I heard laughing. I heard laughing that night.
Yeah, Dan,
you heard
laughing from your tent.
Yeah. Nah. It was not for her to laugh at.
Well, your tent was just far enough off. We couldn't have, you know, unless you had been really carrying on.
Yeah.
But I did hear, and it was, I don't know, maybe. Now, Fred, you said you heard the steps across the stream, like right after we all went to bed, like 11, 12 o'clock?
Yeah, it come across the stream and stopped right there on the bank, about 5 feet from the tent.
Okay,
I knew they was there. I knew they was there.
Well, I did too, because I heard things through the night. But I think the little pad steps I heard were maybe a couple of hours later. But remember, the wind was so damn bad, and because remember the pole got knocked down
That pole
that was
had
holding up the tarp.
that pole had to be pulled down because the way I had it wrapped, there was no way that wind could have pulled that off her like that.
Well,
It looked like
that's
something because I had it wrapped. I had the tarp wrapped around the pole and tied. There was no way that pole could have come off her. That pole was pulled off of there.
well that's was another question. But me and Beth heard it come down because we had been laying there awake listening to the wind, and it was whipping the tarp over the tents. But we still heard the, like I said, the knocks and a whoop, and but when that stick went down, and it wasn't a great big stick, but it was a good size. It was 4 inches or around or what. It was a good sized stick you had, with, holding up the tarp there.
It was locusts.
And but when it came down, that's what Beth said. She thought a limb had come through the damn tent. That's when we woke you up and said, Fred, Fred, Fred.
Hey, Fred, Pokey's got a question for you.
Okay. All right. What is it?
Go ahead.
This is actually referring to your Jeep. And, of course, this is how it reads. How does it feel now that you have the Beast running? And then she goes on to say he has the ultimate Bigfoot vehicle now.
Well, after I put new plugs in it today, because I didn't figure out, I've been setting the plugs at 42, which is for the 305, and I figured it wasn't running right, so I checked the gap today. I had to put new plugs in, so I got them at 35, and it runs a hell of a lot better. It runs a lot better. But thank you. Yes, that is my ultimate squashmobile.
Awesome.
The beast from the east is alive.
Although it's loud enough to run every squatch off in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I just told Nikki, I don't know if you guys saw on the chat here on the podcast, I'm going to update this picture and add her in here too.
Well, that's two of them, Nikki. We're in.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
we're in the looking for Bigfoot one too.
Yeah, we're in over Shane and Henry.
Yeah, I got the one that
Steve.
Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. Oh wait, it's on my computer. I can't.
Let's take that photo. That's a good photo.
What's that?
The one I have on there.
Yeah, that's a pretty picture, Nikki.
Take that one.
Well, send me to my messenger, and I'll use whatever you send me. I'll use it.
Oh, okay.
I'll update. I'll either add to this one, or I'll actually make a whole different scenario.
Okay.
Yeah, Daniel had to go through 14 years of pictures of me to find one that was halfway decent.
Yeah, the one I'm using here of Lael, it was actually a group picture. She had people on both sides of her. I just had to crop it. So.
Well, you guys, it's getting pretty late. I gotta get out of here.
All right.
Have you give all the youngins a bath?
Yeah, no, not the little one. So I gotta
go. Actually, if you give me a second, Nikki, I was gonna try to find this one picture I have. If it lets me pull it up here once I find it.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever seen this one, Nikki. Hold on, it's around here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. All right.
Her profile picture's pretty, I think.
Let me see if it'll let me share it, because this is off. Oh yeah, here we go. This was for finding Bigfoot. Oh, looking for Bigfoot.
Yep, that's it.
Oh yeah, I remember that one too.
Yeah.
Oh.
On Freddie.
I can see Daniel. I can see Fred.
Hold on. There's a different one for me.
Bradbury.
I don't remember where it's at though.
Yeah, this one here, Ray Gardner made this one. He did the drawing on this. Ray Gardner's work right here.
You know, everybody who does a cartoon
That's good.
does the same
Yeah.
thing with my eyes. Do my eyes actually look like that?
Time.
I don't, I don't know. Look at poor Henry. Henry? I ain't gonna say that. No mind.
Is that Henry?
Yeah, right
Who's
there.
the
The
one?
blue.
Henry's in the middle
Who's-
with blue shirt. Shane's right behind him, and Daniel's got the
Left.
cowboy. Yeah, he's got the
Left.
cowboy hat on, and I'm over to the right side. Look like an old geezer.
Is that Henry in the middle in the blue in the
Yep.
front?
And
Yeah,
Shane Bradbury's holding the lantern in the back.
yeah.
Yeah, see, I could recognize
where's-
Shane.
Where's Nikki at?
This one, I don't know. This is one, I don't know.
She's
This
not in
one
that
right.
one.
Oh no, she's not in this one.
Okay, I
think-
found the one that I was in though.
Okay.
Hold on, let me screen share it.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Oh, I didn't get but a. Let's see.
Can you see it okay?
Oh
There you
man,
go.
that's a good picture. I like that.
Well, the first one come out with me, Shane, Henry, and Girly Bigfooter, and
Yeah.
Nikki.
Now, who did that one there? That Photoshop one?
Shane.
Shane.
Oh, he did that. Okay.
Okay, now I gotta get out of this somehow.
Yeah, just go to stop sharing, or on your picture you could
I see it.
click. Yeah. Huh.
And then I go ahead.
Isn't it amazing how all of us illiterate computer users
Hey, we just got
can
Windows.
manage to do this?
Hey, me and Pat just downloaded Windows 10 on our computer, and when I download my videos, I have a hard time trying to figure out how to do it now.
That's because you got Windows 10, Fred.
No, we
Yeah.
got Windows 7. We downloaded Windows 10 from 7
I
to 10.
know.
Yeah. This one
I
here,
know.
this is another one that Ray Gardner he drew this for me right here.
Yeah, he drew one for me too, but it looked too computerized.
Yeah, he does some pretty cool work, man. I like his work.
Oh yeah, I love people who can draw.
I'm still
I
trying
can paint.
I'm still trying
Draw.
to figure out how I'm going to have my T-shirts set up on the Squatch part.
Yeah.
Still got to figure it out. I mean, I got Jeff drawing some. I got a couple more people drawing pictures of Squatches certain ways, But I don't know. It's going to cost me $1.45 to get everything set up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have to get out of here. You guys have a
All
good.
right.
Sounds
Bye,
good, Nikki.
Nikki.
Thanks for being on. Did you want to jump on tomorrow night, Nikki?
I'm gonna try. We'll see.
Okay, it'll be 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. So.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
seeing you, Nikki. Take care.
See you later. Bye, Freddie.
All right. Have a good
Bye.
night. What? There was something I was
I
gonna
like
say.
Nikki.
There was what the heck was it? Oh, I don't know what my other paper was. I had something down I was gonna mention. Now I'll think of it later. It's no big deal.
Oh, so I see where you said something about taking me to school. I've done forgot the hell about what it was about now.
I don't know. I think it was something that you and Nikki, I think, ended up getting in that debate. I don't know. I got lost in it too. So
We always get in debates like that, because
the audience was loving it. I ain't lying. They did.
well, see, the thing about it is,
Well, yeah.
like I tried to tell Nikki, I've been learning from the Squatches since '81, and people just don't understand, that everything that I've seen that them do leads back to the ancient, to the Indian tribes,
Right.
Yeah, they might have been mimicking them, back thousands of years ago, but it's been passed down. You know, whatever they saw what the Indians did, they mimicked it and passed it down from you know, from father to son to daughter, father to son to daughter, all the way down the line, you know, to now, you know. And they do have
Or
Right.
could
their
it be the, or
and
could it be the other way around?
well, that remains to be seen, you
I
know.
mean,
But you
to
know,
some extent.
yeah, because a lot of people ask me, who teaches you this stuff? I said, nobody. No one teaches me. I go out in the woods and I observe, I look, I listen, and that's why I touch structures, because that is what tells you about them, how they doing it, what's the purpose of it, you know, and it teaches you, and that's what people got to realize, you know. I haven't found no trackway yet, but Daniel, I was up there across from the camp today, up there behind that big scaffolding tree stand,
Right.
and I found some pretty good stuff back in there, man. But I couldn't get back in there where I wanted to because it was raining. But it was, I mean, there was some tore up shit back in there, 3 times worse than last year.
Oh wow.
So I'm gonna wait till it stops raining. And but I did go in. I walked all the power line poles from right there where you got your sample, all the way to the 2 poles past the one where I got my sample. I didn't see a hair one on any of them.
Mm.
Not even
I
a
had to,
hair.
I have a question about that.
What's that?
Were the spray painted red spots on the trees?
Those are
Is
national.
that the divide between the national forest and private land?
Yeah, yeah. That's national forest boundary line. And
That's
if you
what I
if you keep
figured.
walking, if you keep following that line, you will come to a sign of a metal pole with a square piece of metal saying, behind this is George Washington National Forest.
Yeah, I assume that's what it was.
Yeah.
Uh, but I wanted to ask because you had said something about private land and then the
Well, when you take and
national forest.
when you take and walk up the road a little bit, there's a little pullover area, and there's like a little trail that goes back to there and brings you out on the power lines. But if you follow the trail, it's just hunting trails that go all the way back through the wooded areas back there, you know, where they got tree stands and stuff. And believe it or not, the squatchers are back in there. Basically, because when you go back in the area, you find nothing but blueberry bushes in the thick spots. I mean, it's eat up with blueberry bushes
Yeah.
and everything, you know. Now, Daniel, I went in there today. Now, you know, the blueberries are almost time to get ripe. I mean, not ripe, but they're starting to grow and starting to turn colors, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen one blueberry on a bush. Up
Oh
behind the
wow.
camp, across the road, even up on Bald Mountain, I'd walk in the woods to a blueberry patch and there'd be nothing. Hell, even on the trail, there's usually blueberry bushes along the trail that's got big ones. I didn't even see any berries on them.
Huh.
I'm
Let's
like,
see.
huh? So we can
Let me
look
see.
at. I'm gonna give me a cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna see. Oh man, what the heck did I do that for? I'm trying to do
I
some.
was going, I was not going to chime in Fred's absence, but the little shits here,
Homogeneous colonies.
and who knows what he'll say. Okay, he went away.
Hold on, I'm on a trying to. I'm gonna try to post something, show everybody something here in a second.
Cool.
Uh,
And he threw down my. Oh, I got it. Um. Yeah, Fred had an interesting video from his day.
oh yeah.
Ryan's was very interesting too. Have you got a chance to go back and look at it yet?
No, I sure haven't. The show video he did.
Yeah. I don't know how, but I'm on Facebook all day, every day, but I get up and go and come back. You know, I'm not sitting here
Right.
the entire time. But I happened to catch yesterday, I guess it was yesterday, and I happened to catch the one today right at the beginning, and I shared it. But maybe he, and I told him, you need to share with us and let us know so we can watch and share. And he said he would, but I think it's just such a spur of the moment.
Yeah.
But go back and watch his one today. It was a lot of it is pixelated, because he was out in the woods and didn't have good signal.
Right.
But then a lot of it's good too, and they had some funky things happen.
Right.
Apparently, when I come in on his video, that's when John was turning and walking away because he had come to Ryan and then started walking away. But I'll tell you what, I'm glad Ryan finally knows how I feel now.
Yeah.
When you get burned, you know, because now he can tell people, I now know how Fred felt when he got burned, you know.
Yeah.
And
Well, and that's why, Fred, I didn't see that Daniel was on at the time, but you just come back online, and I was saying go watch now because it was kind of getting hairy, and I wanted y'all to see it.
well, I'll watch it
And
here in a little bit.
Yeah.
watch the whole thing,
Yeah.
and it's not.
Hey, we got a few
it
questions
was
that
good.
popped up.
Okay, what is it?
First of all, yeah, because we're gonna see if we can answer these questions quickly. I just wanted to show viewers. This is one of my old T-shirt designs. I'm gonna be throwing back together, and just for the viewers, 'cause I know a couple of members were asking about getting T-shirts. I'm working on that again. Just bear with me on that. I'm actually trying to work on getting something. You know, I'm gonna try to work on getting a small bulk quantity. You know, try to get a decent price on them.
That's
Um,
cool. Yeah,
yeah,
the picture's cool.
Yeah, the one on the left right here where it says ECBRO member, that's usually that part there goes on the front side over the usually over the front left side of the
Make
chest,
Nation, y'all.
and then you see the back. All right, the question is, and this is a good question right here, and this is from Mark. Mark asked question: do you think when people ask for money to support their YouTube channel, does it make them force results? I'm going to be honest. In my opinion, I don't push it. But I actually have that set up on my YouTube channel. I never mention it to nobody, and I don't force it. I don't enforce it either. That's totally up to subscribers or anyone that's serious about the research. That if they want to help, that's fine. But maybe in some cases, I believe that could be very possible, very true. I don't know. That's my 2 cents on that. I don't know how you guys feel about that one. It could be possible. I mean, I believe maybe there is some, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it on other YouTube channels that has nothing to do with Bigfoot, but so.
I think that if I, as an individual, see somebody asking for money for research or whatever, and I feel confident in them, and I have the money,
Right.
then I might contribute.
Right.
But,
well, especially if you know that person, you're not just giving it to a random person either,
Yeah. But I'm sorry, but I don't have the money.
Right.
To give to anybody. There are a lot of things and a lot of places I would love to give money to.
Yeah.
And I do to a couple of, I guess charities is the best word, but not charity. But anyway, I do give a little money to a couple of things, but I'd have to have a heck of a lot more money to give to a Bigfoot thing. You know, I would give to a family whose home burnt down, or you know, because I have so little to give, I try to what little I do give
Yeah.
locally.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
be against it if I had more money.
yeah, and Mark was, he was actually, he was stating actually he brought up a name. He says like he was referring to reality. I guess they're a YouTube channel, crypto reality. He said they do. Yeah, Mark says they see Bigfoot in every still picture. So yeah, that's kind of, we've actually had those discussions on pictures and stuff like that before, which I can understand that, but where
Yeah.
there's nothing conclusive really. But the answer Pokey's question: does the t-shirts only come in black? Well, it's easy to get them all in one solid color if I was to get them in bulk. But there's one place I'm gonna go talk to. I mean, maybe get them in two different colors, black, and then maybe another color that's popular. But um, I don't know. Maybe perhaps if I do, I could set up a possible um, maybe an order form and get sizes and everything, sizes and maybe colors, and then I could have that worked up for individuals. Um, so yeah, that's something I got to work on and definitely be in touch on that.
Maybe you
Um,
do. Maybe you do.
she mentioned white
Since
maybe, so yeah, I mean white's a common
uh,
color what I could do and change the coloring of the words, turn the white to black on the words, and
yeah, I was gonna say make them blue.
that's a good idea.
Um, with the Sasquatch, with with the what's blue make black, and what's black make blue.
Yeah,
You
now
know,
see the color of the Sasquatch in this one.
yeah.
I actually had another T-shirt where I actually designed the eyes yellow, and that T-shirt when I had that set up, that was actually based off our encounter back in 2014.
But
The large
yeah.
yellow eyes, and
Well, if you reverse the blue and black, make it a blue T-shirt,
right,
and
yeah,
then I don't know, just a suggestion.
okay.
But
Um,
I like it. I think they look good the way they are.
and there's actually I want to jump back to the questions again. There's two questions back to back for Fred.
All right.
Um, First question comes from Pokey. How many juvies do you think are in your area?
Right behind the camp in Kennedy Fields, there's two that I know of, and in the apple orchard, I've seen four
All
so
right.
far.
And next question for you, Fred, it coming from Patrick Cassidy. What do you think zapping is, and how could a Sasquatch do such a thing?
I I don't know, because I mean, I do know that they can, like what happened to Ryan today and what happened to John. John got.
Anyway,
I it's I can't really explain it, but I've been burned quite a few times, and I can't understand. I've had my head hurt. I've been made sick. We're at the point where it makes me want to puke and everything. And I just can't. I don't know how they do it. I really don't. If I knew it, I'd answer it, but I can't answer because I really don't know how they do it.
infrasound.
Infrasound, ultrasound, yeah, infrasound. Like I said, Paul Horsley um, caught audio of the infrasound of two things when I said, "Where y'all at?" and y'all stole my peanut butter. Stole my jars. He picked up, and we are here. So they were using that. You know, I don't know how they do it. Infrasounds, like I say, is the only way I could think of it. But when you get burned, it don't feel good. That's the only thing I can say.
Inf, it's until we or science comes up with another alternative, I have got to go with infrasound. We know other animals use it to paralyze their prey. We know whales. We know lions. And we also know from paranormal people who think their house is haunted or whatever, and it's just because they've got old pipes, old electricity that's emitting a sound they can't hear, and it joggles your brain and your insides, and you don't realize it. And it makes you paranoid, it makes you nauseous, and
It makes you want to kill yourself.
it's got to be infrasound. Like I say, until somebody comes up with something better. But that's just my feeling.
Well, I can tell you this much: it don't feel good to be burned and everything. So, but yeah, infrasound would be about it, to put it mildly.
Do you agree with that, Daniel? What do you think about infrasound?
No, well, infrasound. I definitely believe in infrasound because a lot of animals do use it. It's
Well,
actually.
you got
Uh,
hit that. You got hit that. You got slightly hit that day on the front part of that ridge.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Something definitely happened to me that day, and there's a lot of our known animals that do it too. Um, for example, mountain lions. They do it
Yeah,
to a lot. They do it to their prey.
Like a
You know,
Siamese cat, because the Siamese cat could sit inside a house and stare at a bird, and that bird would hit the ground. I've
well,
seen that happen.
well, that's basically the same effect with a mountain lion or a lion out in the jungle in Africa. What they do, they'll put off a type of, it'll be a guttural sound, more or less that can't be heard to the human ear, but it's something
Right.
that it puts a fear or freezes their prey to the pack. It allows them to make their attack, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Now, it's interesting to know maybe there's other animals that do such a thing that we're unaware of, perhaps. Um, you
yeah,
know, so I mean, if there's other animals that are out there, I mean, this thing is, I think maybe there's a lot of mystery yet out there that we have yet to discover. I mean, regardless if it's Sasquatch or even anything with our known species, which is,
oh yeah,
you know,
exactly.
so
Well,
it's,
think about a dog whistle.
oh yeah,
Think about a dog whistle, but opposite.
right.
You know, same time. I guess maybe not exactly the same, but it's still akin to the same thing. Like I say, it jiggles limestone in caves, that kind of thing. It jiggles your insides, but you don't know it, and it makes you paranoid. It makes you nauseous. So I think infrasound is a real thing.
It don't feel good. It hurts.
I I had it in a mine one time, and freaked me completely out. But it wasn't a Bigfoot kind of an incident, so I won't, go into it. But
Well,
y'all go ahead.
if you've been into my area, as long as I have, you kind of get the feel for something's going to happen. And well, like I found that track today. I wasn't expecting to find nothing like that. I just happened to walk in because I was headed for the creek where I had that rock thrown at me, and I just happened to stop at a tree and look down. That track was right there. You know,
Yeah,
so it's kind of freaky, because it. I mean, I eliminated. I mean, I went through every animal I know that had doggy feet, and that was not a regular dog foot. And I thought about a baby Sasquatch with the knuckles and everything. I eliminated that because it had toenail marks on the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It did.
See.
Go ahead, Dan.
I was just gonna read off a couple little statements that they were saying on the live chat. Mark goes on to say sound waves do not produce heat. Vibrating atoms do. Infrasound hits you in the chest, and
It
then
hits you anywhere.
if they can
Yeah, it
mind speak,
does.
they can mind. I don't know if I should say this word. I'll say it anyway. If they can mind speak, they can mind fuck.
Yeah. Well, John got the feeling, and he heard.
What
He said
did
he
I
heard something say, "Tell him get
say?
out."
Or back up or something, yeah.
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 So
And
John
that was
heard. Do
that
what?
was before, that was 30, 45 seconds before Ryan's head started to hurt.
Right.
Because Ryan, John said, because I watched it live,
Yeah, I
and
watched that part of it.
John said, man, my hair's up on my back, and something just said to me, get out, go back, something. And Ryan said to him, man, you don't ever get like that.
Yeah,
And John said, I know,
they
but
were they were being told.
that's what I feel. And in just a minute or less anyway, Ryan, and you could tell if you watched the video, he said, "Oh God, man, my head's hurting, my head's on fire,"
Exactly, because
and it took, yeah,
yeah. I mean, people who's never experienced it, are gonna question it, on how it feels. Now Ryan has been asking questions like that. Now he knows exactly
he
how it feels
knows.
firsthand, and I can tell you, being hit the way he did, he was hit just a tad harder than what I was when he said his head was on fire underneath his hat.
Mhm.
They was forcing him out of that area. So
Yep.
and I guarantee you it come from that structure that he was
My
standing right there
goodness.
at. So they was in there when he was there. So
And
he,
go ahead.
no, I'm done.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Go ahead.
well,
Go ahead. I'll let you finish that up. We gotta actually end up ending the
yeah,
live
I just want
podcast.
to finish up. One was, I think, and we all need to go back and watch Ryan's video, but seems to me that um, what Ryan said, you never feel that way to John, and damn, I forgot. But anyway, and then it hit Ryan, and it was like, I don't know, it hit, but he said, oh, I know. Ryan said, I'm usually the one that gets a bad feeling or a funky feeling or whatever, not John. And John got it first
Right.
in
All
this
right.
incident. Anyway, okay, that's the end of that.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, I want to thank all the viewers tonight. Some of them already jumped off. It's late for some of them. It's actually late for me, and got work in the morning. So I want to thank everybody. You guys are awesome, and we love the participation on the live chat. It's what we love, and I hope you guys could tune in Tuesday, the 24th. We'll have the Carolina Cryptid Crew, and we will get Brian we will get Brian Sullivan on here very soon. Hopefully we'll get that worked out. And he was on the live chat tonight, which was awesome. I'm glad he was able to participate that way. But hopefully we'll get him on here when he gets his Skype up and working and all that good stuff. So meanwhile, if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss a show. Sometimes I don't, where you might be, I might not be able to post there or whatever, but if you subscribe, as long as you're subscribed, you will get the notification when we go live. So, and when we do go live, before we get into any major conversation, I usually try to give a minute or two till we actually get into anything to give everybody a chance to jump on. So, meanwhile, everyone have a good night.
Night night. Oh, that was a good ending.